It's Tuesday, May 9th. It's another episode of Cake with Kelsey and Kinetic. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We are here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'll give you all the details a little later about the podcast and the rebroadcast if you you feel like sharing or you got to listen at another time. I've been slipping a little with the details, so I'll make sure I give thorough information a little later. And so Kinetic is here. How you doing?
I'm all right. Still coming today to hustle, trying to get online on time.
Well, you were early, extra early today, so yay. I wish I had an applause button. No, I'm kidding. Well, technology works. When it works, and that's the good thing.
407 help me out.
Oh, that too? Okay. I thought, okay. 407. And those bills, it's crazy. Anyway, so it is another Tuesday, and we have a very special guest joining us tonight. Infinite, Toronto's own, Rexdale's own, Canada's own, hip hop's own. There's so many ways to introduce him, but one of the artists who have represented us well. And so definitely looking forward to speaking to him. We will be, I think, trying to find the best way to put this, but we're not able to play the track, his latest release, Yours Truly. We're not able to play that during the live show right now, but we will be adding it so you can listen to it on the podcast, on the rebroadcast, put it that way. So if you are listening to the podcast, you're going to hear the song in a minute. And if not, you are listening to us live. Like I said, I'll give you the details of the podcast so you can actually check it out a little later. In the meantime, I have the link up on my social media and on Infinite's Instagram page, which will give you that information a little later. He also has a link in his bio where you can get the song. It's actually available on Google Play Music, iTunes, Tidal. There's one other spot. But we're going to get more details about the track and what inspired it, what the message is, and I've listened to it. I like it, and
Good.
So. Yeah. So if you have the pleasure of listening to it right now, enjoy. And he'll be joining us shortly on the show. So like I said, we can just catch up with him and see what he's up to, and what we can look forward to. And that's coming up shortly. So best place to listen to the show if you want to invite a friend or to vexradio.com. Once you get onto the site, you'll see the Cake link. Click there and you will be added to the show. At some point, if we have some time, I'll post the link where you can actually join us. So if we have some time for questions, comments a little later, I welcome you to join us for that. And I'll post that a little later. And as you know, vexradio.com is the best place for hip hop and R&B, old school, new school, 24/7. So log on anytime and listen there. And I'll also give you information about requesting songs and sending shout outs and all that good stuff a little later. So Raptors are out. I didn't really want to touch on this, but how could we not? Raptors are gone.
Yep. And I just want to say, for the record, addition from subtraction. Larry wasn't in the game. And you see what happened. We actually competed twice. Everybody was on me. Everybody was on me. So I'm not a Larry fan. I'm not a DeRozan fan. I don't think they're superstars. I think they're overpaid. Addition by subtraction. You know what? Larry was out. What happened? They didn't blow us out. They didn't kill us. We actually competed. And it just goes to show you that Larry's not worth the $200 million.
Okay, I don't really know about the worth and all that good stuff because hey, if you can get it. And if they're willing to pay it, pay it. That's it. I have no
Let them
talk
walk.
on a man's money or hustle or whatever. But
Yeah, we gotta
um,
pay. We gotta pay them to as the team Raptors. Like we can get
right.
other that just shows you like Corey Joseph still needs to develop, but it just shows you. You know what I mean? We have right to develop. We have Corey Joseph. We have them under contract. We make superstars out of these guys that are just average players.
Hmm. Well, I've heard similar comments and remarks about them individually, but I think the first of all, because there was a game where he had a big game, so I think that was game two because he was out, and I think the game he started was that game three where he started and then he got hurt. I think he was. I don't have the
Yes.
stats obviously in front of me, but I think he was doing okay. Now, so I mean, yeah, and he put up numbers. I think it was between him and um Jonas, right? No, wasn't it those
But
two?
that's the whole thing. I mean, what happens basically? You know what? DeRozan froze, right?
Yeah,
Even though he's
yeah.
starting to become a little mature, DeRozan froze again this year. But he stepped up his game. But the
Hmm.
fact remains is when you have a assist oriented, in the playoff, what you need an assist oriented point guard, not a second scoring option point guard, an assist first point guard. Your big man Valentunas, who there was basically no competition for, went
Hmm.
off twice. DeRozan, our shooting guard, who was supposed to shoot, that just shows you that what. Again, you know what I mean? Like the sign is straight there. Addition from subtraction. He's doing well.
And I see, and this
So
is why I don't
let
really
him go.
argue too
I'm not
much,
about
but I look at it and say they had they had opportunities, they had shots so many times, and
Yeah.
these guys just don't hit. And I'm not talking about DeRozan or Lowry, the
Yeah, no,
whole
just
team.
picking
It's a
everybody
collective,
else.
and it's
Yeah.
you cringe
Yeah.
like the amount of shots taken and missed. It's ridiculous. And I mean, you're looking at Carroll, you're looking at what's his face, oh gosh, this is so bad.
Patterson,
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 that's it. Like, come on.
can
Like,
be taking
so
3 point shots. None of the guys,
if
yeah.
these guys were doing what they were supposed to do, if everybody on
They're
the
both
team was doing half of what they
playing,
were
yeah.
supposed to do, the
Yeah.
games would have all been tight and they would have taken at least one, two. I feel that's what
My,
I
my
feel.
my my biggest problem with them with the Raptors this whole series was simple. Drive to the hole. Cleveland doesn't have any defense that anybody can stop. Drive to the hole, DeRozan. If you have to, drive to the hole. You know what, Carroll, drive to the hole. Why are you a 3 point shooting team playing against a better shoot
Hmm.
3 point shooting team? They're basically Golden State of the East. They don't miss from 3 point. Why are we trying to play their game? They can drive, go right at LeBron, go right at Kyrie.
Hmm.
All of them. When they're small, why didn't we not drive? Valanciunas could have cleaned up. Patterson could have cleaned up, but we were shooting 3 point for 3 point. That's why we lost. We live and die by the three. They live by the three.
Hmm.
They don't die. They just live.
Yeah, well,
So we weren't equipped for that. You
they
know what?
got. I
We
mean,
were
yeah.
equipped for that. We got
And the
spanked. We got
comment, the
exposed against
comment that
here.
was made, which people are making the biggest joke, well, some people, DeRozan's comment about, which I didn't see, so I don't even know how he said it. I didn't see a clip of it when he said if we had LeBron on the team. So I don't even know if it was like a direct quote, but if he had LeBron,
Yeah,
we would have won too.
yeah.
And I mean, he's stating facts. I mean, it's like, why say that maybe is the question, or you know what I mean? But and I don't think he was using that as a reason why they didn't win. Like, I really don't think that man would put himself and his teammates down that much to say, well, we can't do it without him. I don't think that's what he was trying to say. I think he was just saying, yeah, I can't even go beyond that because I didn't hear it for myself. But
Either
when I
this,
said it,
but
I was like,
I
it's a
guess.
fact, it's truth.
But you know what though, in the context of if what how was said, like what my understanding, because I didn't hear his like his cadence in his voice. I didn't hear, like if he was being sarcastic or like what
Exactly.
the
Mhm.
right. But if from just the words, it's very simple. If we had the greatest player on the planet too, we would be going to championship. So maybe that's what he's probably saying in context of the way it sounds. You know what I mean? But I can't voice, right?
Okay, I
The
wasn't
other
sure if you heard it. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you heard it,
yeah, no,
but
I saw memes and stuff like that,
mhm.
and what's it called again, stuff going out, but I never heard his actual voice.
Yeah,
I didn't see the comment,
and that
so
more
I
ways
just
like
saw that. I just shrugged my shoulder. I figured that you're saying, yeah,
for me,
what?
I no, for me, and I mean, I haven't gotten in too deep into, I haven't really talked too much people, but for me, that backs up. Like I had a conversation, and it backs up what I say about Cleveland, and I they are like when people want to say, because I've had like I know a couple of people that just rate Cleveland as a team, and they at the same time because these two are competing for the second year, in the playoffs against each other, and Raptors have been eliminated by Cleveland, and they are comparing them team for team, and I'm like, that team does not stack up greater to me without LeBron than the Raptors. So I think that argument of the team, it's like, no, like call it what it is. It's LeBron. And it's the LeBron effect. And obviously, he
Well, no,
can't do
you
it
gotta
alone. He
no,
can't do it
but
alone. He has to have four other men on the floor with him at any given time. But call it what it is. And so, in that way of um, saying that it is a valid statement, and I will use that statement when I'm defending team for team,
no, but
and
you know what?
that
Here's
applies
where
to almost any team
here's
in the
what it is.
East. Mhm.
No, but here's what it is though. That team was built for the playoffs. Everybody on that starting five
Every team
is
strives to do that.
veteran season playoff with strives, but that team is built. Every one of those players are at least 5 or 6 deep in terms of playoff experience years. I mean, like 5 or 6. You know what I mean? Kevin Love, I think he had four, maybe 5 now under his belt. LeBron James, we know he's like 7 out of 7 deep. J.R. Smith, you know what I mean? And Shumpert, they've been there. Like, they're all playoff experienced members of those teams. Like, our team is like what? We've been there twice, second round.
Okay, so let me
Like,
say this to
we're
you,
not we're
and let
not
me say this.
seasoned. Yeah.
Despite all that, without even saying all that, with the same exact team, with the same exact players, with all their experience, without LeBron, they would not be where they are. And so that even tips it strengthens the argument that Cleveland without LeBron is not a super team. They're not an amazing team. It's LeBron. And anybody that steps to me and wants to talk to me, no, and
Right?
anybody that wants to have this discussion, because I have like silly feelings about Cleveland. I don't even think they deserve all this. I just hate on them. I just hate on them for other reasons. I love LeBron.
It's just the biggest.
I love
Remember,
LeBron.
it was the
But no, let me fit. But what I'm trying to say is, and even saying all this experience. I mean, I've watched Corver not show up when he was in Atlanta. I've seen him miss three after three after three after being the 3-point man. So that it doesn't, like, what I'm
yeah.
saying though is
Everybody's had different times.
when you have that, I'm telling you, that effect, and I mean it's beautiful on LeBron's part. And I said, yo, when they make this man's movie, and when people look back in history and see what this one man was able to do to any team that he was on and to the league and everything, people are going to have to like bow down to this man eventually. Even all the haters, you're going to have to give this man his respect, because what he's able to do. And when you can free people up and allow them to play and enjoy it again, and be relaxed, because you have that in your back pocket, it's like it does something to you. And so, I mean, and I don't blame them. I mean, I'd be happy too. I wouldn't want to leave. I'd want to be on the team. It's the same thing I used to say. I used to say about Miami, like all these people knocking them. I was like, how many players would love to be on a team like that, or even with Cleveland right now? And I've said it about Golden State. And as much as people want to say all their crap, I'm like, who would not want to be on a team? So when people were ripping Durant apart about his decision, everything like that, I'm like, why? How? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? So
I don't
anyway,
think
that's just, I mean, like, I'm just saying, to me, it just even like that halo around LeBron or whatever you want to call it. Now, his behavior, and I'm a fan of his in his game, his attitude and his carrying on and all that foolishness, even their handshakes are so childish to me. Like, I don't, like, I could do without LeBron off the court. On the court, he's the man, but like off the court, I'm not a fan of his. I don't know him personally, obviously, but all his theatrics, and even on the court, even as a fan, sometimes I'm like, okay, LeBron, stop embarrassing yourself. Stop giving these people fuel, like fueling the argument, the flopper and the crybaby and all this crap, because he does. And mentioning that, the other part about the calls and the official and the non-calls, there's quite a bit of that still going on, and I mean, that comes with the
the
territory.
phantom calls. Yeah,
That comes with the territory as well, and but I mean, the
yeah.
frustration builds and whatever. I
The
still
same thing
give.
with Jordan. Same
Yeah,
thing with Jordan.
yeah, yeah, but
When
I
you're the
give.
greatest, you're gonna get the benefit of the calls. When you're a championship team, you're gonna get the benefit of the calls. It's just what it is.
Yeah, but it's not right.
Let's
It
face
doesn't
this
make it right. It
this
doesn't make it
last
right.
year, yeah, let's say last year, the better team did not win. Raptors should have been in that finals. This year, Cleveland, I salute you. Even though you got phantom calls, and LeBron cried, and what I mean, they got a little help, what I mean. But the fact remains is, the better team did not show up to this thing. They were not prepared. We like Ibaka, we got Ibaka for this reason. Like, I mean, he was mediocre. He should have had a bigger presence. We didn't use a big man. We didn't drive. The coach sucks. Get rid of Casey. I've said it 3 years in a row. It wasn't Casey. You know what I mean? I hate that dude. Like, to be honest,
Ooh,
I
it's
think
very
Casey does not
strong
know how to
word.
coach. He does not know how to use the time. Like, whatever it is, it is. Just at the end of the day,
Yeah, there was some times where
we've
I'm like,
made
okay,
super.
do something. You kind of feel, but then,
No, but there's only one Phil Jackson that can sit down and let a team play through, their mistakes and stuff like that, and win championship when you have the best players on the planet.
hmm
He ain't Phil Jackson. He's trying to be some Zen master and let them play through their mistakes and whatever it is. It is no, like, you know what? You see them on a run, you stop the clock. You know what I mean? You do intentional fouls to stop them. You do all the little things that you need to do.
hmm I
Get your
hear
crowd back into it. You know what I mean? Like, all he does is sit there and whine.
you.
He doesn't coach. I don't care what he didn't
Well, I
prep
don't know
the
about the
team right.
whining stuff,
He
because I mean,
built the
I
team
think,
right.
um, no, I wouldn't go that far, but because when
Mm-hmm.
he goes off on calls, it's
I don't know
legit
what
for
team. I don't know
non-calls.
what game you're watching it
I was kids, but I think
when
he
he's
has
winding
legit
up his
reason.
face and,
When he does, he has legit he has reason to. There's a reason for it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think
yeah,
he's
but
just.
he's not a real legit coach. He's not a legit coach. He you know what? It was like 3 years ago. It was a bunch of together and said, we're gonna play for each other. Forget what the media says. Forget what the team says, and he let it go, and that's why we won. Last year it was the same thing. This year
Mm,
he was exposed. The team got blown up. You know what I mean? Even Mozzie said it. He said it on the thing. Toronto needs a new culture, like a new basketball culture. They need to, the Raptors need a new culture. Like, their mentality is not where they're at. Like, it's not. They don't understand. It's like this team. They need to blow up this team. They need to They need to get rid of Valanciunas. They need to develop that kid and start rebuilding. But because people will come here, you know what I mean, and go
mhm,
after some legit. And then, Wiggins is going to be available. We're going to be going for Wiggins.
mhm,
He'll fit in nicely where we're at. Not because he's a Toronto kid, but because he's on a running team. We're a
mhm,
running team. You know what I mean? And he'll actually drive to the hole. And that'll be a good tangent. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like, what's it called again? Ibaka, Wiggins. You know what I mean? What's it called again? DeRozan. And I don't even know. I'm not a real fan of Coach. I mean, Coach.
You said
I'm
cool.
more of a fan of Wright, and then that white kid. What's his name? The center now that we're prepping. That's the new Valanciunas, basically. He's
Yeah,
gonna
that
be
young kid. I don't know his
outstanding.
name. Mhm,
That kid. Yeah, what's the name? Pitt. It starts with a P. Whatever. That center.
mhm.
Get rid of Valanciunas. He's injury prone. Yeah, but and prep that team, become a young team, and go for it. And you get one veteran. If Wiggins comes and we get one veteran, we that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like DeRozan's now stepping up. He's earning his money. He didn't show up twice, but he's earning his money. Just there. Larry, let him walk. Let him go to the West Coast. Somebody could use him.
Hmm.
He wants a
Well,
championship, and so let him go. Like we don't need to pay him the $200 million. We'll get a lot more for that $200 million. Carroll, I respect you as a game, but it's time to go. Patterson, I respect you. It's time to go. Go get. You know what I mean?
hmm
Start blowing up that team. Because at the end of the day, we can have all the excitement we want. When it comes down to the playoffs, we might as well not even be there.
well, we shall see. This is the time. That's the big, well, everybody has their opinion. You have some people saying slight changes are necessary, but not a whole, you don't got to blow up the whole team, just little tweaks. And I tend to agree with that. I think, yeah.
Well,
But yeah, there's a
saying,
couple guys that just like, I'm just like, they don't, they don't produce. They don't give for the most part. And when it comes down to it,
no, but you
and
know what? No, you got to remember something. You can be a role player. You can, you know what? Like for instance, people don't realize two of the most valuable players that we've ever had as a Raptors period was Charles Oakley. Charles Oakley wasn't a big scorer. He wasn't a big, blocker or anything like that. But he intimidated you and changed your game. Just as important. It wasn't Vince Carter that got us to the playoffs. It was Antonio Davis and Oakley. JYD. Those were the guys that got us to to the playoffs. It wasn't Vince Carter. They allowed Vince Carter to free up.
hmm
So it's like there are role players that do the intangible things. This ain't the team. When we had, well, again, 3 years ago and even last year, we had players that a bunch of guys got together and said we're going to play for the name on the shirt. We're playing for us. I'm playing for my brother, my thing, and that's what happened. It wasn't coaching. It wasn't because DeRozan or Larry were there. It was a bunch of guys playing team ball, and that was the big difference.
hmm
So that's just my opinion anyway. Like I'm passionate
Of
about it.
course. Of course.
Can't tell me
It's
nothing.
the obvious. Well, no, so I don't know. I thought about it. I was like, ugh, I was a little turned off. I was like, do we still want to, I still want to do any kind of, what do you call it? NBA rap show. But if we could do it, we're still going to do it because, there's still a lot of ball left and, good ball.
You,
And,
you,
so what?
you notice I didn't say one word when we got swept. I didn't post. I posted about Arsenal. I didn't post about one word about basketball. I just kissed my teeth and that was it. I was like, you know what? That was a that was a wrap. So you're about to ask me who do I think is gonna get it?
No, I wasn't,
Uh,
but you could go ahead and say. Not even get what though? In
the
the
champion,
East?
the chip. No,
The
I'm talking about the chip
the
period.
whole
Yeah, the whole shebang.
Oh, go
Believe it
ahead.
or
Let
not,
me hear that.
no, you know what? I'm gonna say LeBron's gonna get it.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I don't think Golden State's gonna get it. Spurs is basically done, right? They're Rockets. It's like they're good, but they're not good enough. And Golden State is LeBron. I mean, is Cleveland's only real thing, but I don't believe that they're gonna get it over those guys because you know what? Both of them are 3-point scoring teams, right? But I just think that the X factor there is Kyrie. You know what I mean? And J.R. Smith and Shumpert are playing awesome, and I don't believe that Golden State's deep enough to stop that tangent. That I'm not saying the backcourt tangent of Shump, J.R. Smith, and that. Forget about LeBron James. We all know he's going to get his. You know what I mean? Love is love. So I'm just saying is it just comes down to it. 3 for 3. They're going to be going 3 for 3. Durant, if he drives, then quite possibly, but that's a 3-point shooting team. The Splash Brothers plus Durant. So I don't know, man. I don't think they've played enough with each other long enough to win that chip. Whereas these guys know how to win together. And then you have the X factor of LeBron.
Hmm. Well, I will
So
respectfully disagree with you. Not on everything that you're saying. I get what you're saying, but I think at the end of the day, yeah, I think Golden State, if it works out that way, because I mean, you just never know. I mean, it just hurt me again. I mean, they've always been my kind of, just, I got a love for um Clippers. I got a little spot, and just to see how Griffin, like, they were out. I mean, an injury. So, like, I'm just saying, if it falls into place as where most people are expecting, and it's those two coming together again, I think Golden State. I'm gonna go on the record. I think Golden State takes it this year, and that's what I'm hoping to see.
uh,
I can't. Yeah, I can't. I can never go against what I want. Like, it just
you
has
know
to
what?
end. It just has to end. It just has to, like,
Yeah.
happen against what I want.
Okay.
But I can never speak.
Hey,
But
I'm not
I honestly feel like, yeah, they can and they will,
a,
and I want them to. I want Golden State to take it, if that's how it
I'm
pans
not
out,
a
for sure.
I'm not either one of their fans. I'm especially definitely not a Cleveland fan. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not a LeBron fan. I think LeBron, the player, he's probably the third best player in the NBA. I know people will be like, oh my God, he said that. Like, man, I don't believe he's the best. But, at the end of the
You
day,
will,
I'm not a
one day
LeBron fan.
you will look back at this. You will look back at this time, and you will have,
I think he's
whether
a
you say it
phenomenal
now
player.
or 10 years from now or 20, you are going to look back and say, you know what? Actually, when all is said and done, though, when you look at this man's, I think, I don't get how people can say that. I mean, because there's not one man that, like I said, can have that effect even on a team and on a group of people. And it's it's not hype, and it's not just the talk and the name. It's he does it. Um,
I think he's a phenomenon. I think he's an amazing player. I know he's definitely an elite, but again, Durant still is a way better player, even though he's injury prone right now. But he makes the whole team better, and he's definitely a good scorer. I'm not saying LeBron doesn't, but and Westbrook is a faster LeBron James,
mm-mm, mm-mm,
and
mm-mm.
faster. So
Love them
you know
both.
what?
Love Durant. That's my nephew, but I
I'm
gotta.
gonna say is if I was gonna say though, right? I know LeBron because of the position he is in
Mhm.
and he plays. It's like he's breaking records. But why is he not doing the ultra phenomenal stuff like breaking 20-year records? Scoring title and youngest and this and
Oh,
that
man.
because of he's in a position, right? But if he was such the amazing player, breaking records that he should be breaking. That's my point.
I don't measure.
Westbrook is doing
I
stuff
don't
that he
measure
should be doing.
off of, yeah, but I don't measure off of records or comparing to people who played at a totally different time under different rules. I look at what's currently happening, and that's it. And I'm looking at
But records are
overall big
broken.
picture, and what he does on the floor. It's not even just, oh, he has this, like, like a veteran, like, bringing this presence or anything, like the work he puts in at the same time as being able to do that at his at this point in his career, type of thing. So it's I look at it overall, and it's not just, okay.
I'm not. I'm not saying that he's not a phenomenal player and he's not a good player. I just don't think he is. He is a product of great marketing. They started calling him a king before he was a king.
Oh
Everybody
Lord,
started calling
okay.
like bring.
And on that note, let's stop that, because if, man, that's like the weakest. That's I can't even take when people say that. I can't take that when people say
He
this is
was he was the
marketing.
king in
And
his first year. He was the
sorry,
king. You know, he was the king in his first year. Really, he was the king in his first year.
But I don't.
He was the king of basketball his
It
first
doesn't
year.
matter. It doesn't
Nike,
matter
the
what.
Nike coined him
It
king,
doesn't
and then
matter
everybody
that
just
someone
followed suit,
saw.
and
It
then he
doesn't
started
matter
living
that
up to the
people
hype.
see their brilliance. And I mean, people a few years ago calling Wiggins the next LeBron James.
Brother.
Like, it doesn't matter at what point some people see your excellence and when you actually peak or live up to that. If someone had the vision before that, you can't. I mean, that doesn't take away because he was called that and he wasn't that, therefore he can't be that. Like, that's like, and that argument is so weak to me. Like, not it's like, it, people can like who they from the
Okay,
outside, but I mean, and
you know what?
if that's speaking into
Kersey,
existence,
you're the king. You're the queen. You're the Kersey, you're the queen of radio.
if speaking,
Queen of radio. I'm saying that. I'm calling it that. Is that does that make it true?
if guess what, if
No,
you
this.
say
I'm
it,
just showing you close to home. Yeah.
no, 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 no. But if you say
So
it and you believe that, and that in turn boosts me to become that in about 3-4 years, at what point do you say, like, what? And then we're now looking at you, me looking, sorry, we're looking at me 4 years. At
well,
that
but
point,
he wasn't the
does the
king of
fact that,
basketball. Durant was. Durant was the king of basketball at one point, but he was being called the king of basketball. Everybody bought into it, right? Then he
but it
started winning
doesn't,
championships,
a,
so it gave him a little validity.
a rose by any other name is not, like, what do you, it doesn't matter what people call you, it's what you do, it's what you show. So I mean, yeah, it is important, and it is, the hype, but there are people who don't live up to the hype of what they're supposed to be. I mean, there's, like, talking rappers, singers, actors, like, there are people who are have great promise, and they come in and they don't necessarily live up to it. That doesn't mean because they come in, they slack off, maybe they believe the hype and they don't really put in the work because they already feel they got that. There's so many reasons why people get caught up. And so I don't that's why that argument, I think LeBron, despite that, he still puts in the work, and he still does what he has to do to get what he's going after, and to do what he's doing. And I can't take that away from him. He annoys the shit out of me a lot of times, but I can't take it away from him. And that's just my humble opinion, as we like to make very clear. Anyway, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a very special guest joining us tonight, Infinite. And
Yeah, yeah.
welcome to the show. How are you?
What up, fam? You guys good?
Yeah, I said your name, but I was just like, okay, I hope you don't think I'm, like, calling you out, just in case you were
Nah,
trying to finish up or anything like that. But welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight.
nah. I wanna
And
thank you guys for having me.
no doubt.
Uh,
So yes, so
Infinite and loaded.
what up? What up? What up, bro?
so where are you now?
Hey, how
Can I
you
ask
doing,
you
man?
what part of the world you're in now? Are you close by?
You know what? I'm
No? Yes?
just on
Oh,
the outskirts of Toronto
okay. So you're
right now. Yeah,
GTA is that
yeah,
home still, or do you still consider, like,
yeah.
this is home for you?
Toronto. You know what I
Always.
mean? Always, man.
Okay, nice.
Always. I love Toronto.
Nice.
You know,
Favorite city in the
so
world?
one of them. One of them. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
good.
Yeah,
I don't know. I have a love. I've been vocal about it in the past. I have a love hate. I wouldn't say hate. A love, not really love
yeah.
relationship with Toronto, but for the most part,
Yeah.
when I think about it, I'm like, where else would I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade my experience. Let's put it that way. Um, so
No, for
you
sure.
I mentioned earlier, and for the podcast listeners, they had the pleasure of listening to your latest track that's out right now, yours truly. And so but for our live listeners, they haven't. So can you tell us a bit about this track, as far as um, how it fits into what you're doing right now? Not necessarily, we're not going to get too deep, but just in, is this a part of a bigger project or?
Mhm. Well, currently some some things, some deals. I'm gonna be dropping an album, but yours truly was a track that I thought fit in to what I was doing and what I'm doing right now.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That's like my Dear Mama track. So like I wrote this track for my mom. And
Okay.
I mean everybody could relate whether they have their mom or lost their mom, I just want to
Mhm.
shout out all the mothers across the whole world, no matter what race, whatever it's everybody could relate.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because they got a mom, right? They had a mom or have, you know what I'm saying? So that's what yours truly was basically aimed for Mother's Day, which is next week.
Coming up. Yeah, this weekend actually.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's why I was like, perfect timing when I was posting it today. I was like, yeah. Or I think
yeah,
I posted that yesterday. So, um, okay. So, well, we got that.
mm,
I know you mentioned some
for
things in
sure.
the song, so we'll get into that a little deeper. But let's refresh everybody's memory and take it back a bit and remind the people where you, I mean, we already mentioned you're from Toronto, and I claimed you. I said at the beginning of the show, Toronto's own, Canada's own.
Right,
But
right.
where do you call home, or where did you originally, your area of the city,
Well,
if we want to get a little more
well,
specific.
for those who don't know, I mean, there's some people that do already, but for those who don't, I'm from Rexdale.
Mhm.
That's where I was raised, born. I got Rexdale blood, So,
Mhm.
I mean, Rexdale ways, but I mean, Rexdale has its own reputation. I mean, good and bad.
Mhm.
I mean, but we all like for me now, I'm all grown up now, so I mean, I hope it's the good side. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
You know? Yeah. Shout out to every area in Toronto though, because I love my city, man.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
So
And so,
for the people that
oh,
I'm saying, for the people that don't know Infinite, because there's you've been there's been a what, I guess it's a 10-year hiatus. How long has it been since you've been away? For those who don't know Infinite,
Mhm.
could we list
Yeah.
your track record? Can you give your own biography of what you did, who you are, so we can catch these people up, the new generation that might be listening to the show.
Okay. I mean, you want me to start from the beginning, like from when I was in a group?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
That's wherever you're comfortable
well,
bringing it.
that was going to be
Let's
my
bring it there.
question actually as well. Is okay, so b- we do know you were part of Ghetto Concept. Um,
yeah.
what were you doing before that? Because no one just, well, very rarely do people just like say, "Hey, come be a part of the group," if you aren't already displaying your skills or doing something with the music. So, um,
No doubt.
yeah, what were you doing before Ghetto Concept? Was to do with music?
Okay. Okay. So family originally, my family was into music. When I was born, I came out and like I have baby pictures of me on the carpet spinning records, like 45s on the carpet.
Oh
You know what
wow.
I'm saying? So like I just fell in love with records right away, vinyl, and then just hearing my mom play the music from back then. I was like an old school baby. You know what I mean? Because I had an older brother. I had older brothers that were in to the stuff that I'm not supposed to really know about. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So the guys that were my age, like growing up in school, like grade two, grade three, like I knew certain things, and there was a few guys in my age group that I hung around with that had older brothers also that knew the type of music too that I'm talking about, from hip hop from way back. So I mean, from my grandfather and my uncle, they used to collect records, and later on we turned those into samples, and you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna skip forward now to high school where I met Quadro. Me and Quadro used to go to the same high school, and we used to write raps because we had a little assemblies here and there, and we used to. That was kind of like our practice. But before high school, I started rapping when I was in grade six, grade seven. You know,
Okay.
battling guys in my class in the washroom. you know, and took it, ran with that. High school, ran with that, and then by the end of high school, Quadro met Dolo, and they formed Ghetto Concept before I even entered the group. So I I came in the group. I was the third member to come in the group as an artist, So from there we took it, and the first verse I dropped in the studio was a track called Easy on Emotion.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Easy
yeah,
on the motion.
I remember that one for
yeah,
One of my
sure.
all-time favorite.
Yep.
yeah. So I mean, dropping Easy on Emotion was like I got a positive response from that. I mean,
Okay.
it just we so right from Easy on Emotion, ready to go to the Juno Awards for another single,
Wow.
for a single that was prior to that Ghetto Concept had recorded. So we won a Juno for that. I wasn't on that track, but the group
You were
at the
still part of
time,
the group.
just coming in the group. Yeah. I came in as a DJ. And to be honest with you,
Okay.
I didn't really know how to DJ like that. But I just wanted to travel with the man them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so what I
So let
did, I
me.
used to just put on the
Oh, go ahead.
records.
Hmm.
I used to
Sorry to
just start the
interrupt you like that.
music.
No, let me ask you this though. So, because that's interesting that you and Quadro used to do your thing, but then he ended up
Mm.
starting it with Dolo. So, like, was there ever any talk or of taking it serious or becoming professionals with it when you and him were doing your thing? Was there ever like that thought in
Uh,
in your mind, or were you guys just like just having fun with it at that point?
to be honest with you, we was having fun with it,
Okay.
and see Quadro do his thing. I wasn't taking it serious like that, you
Mm,
know. And my brother Kane, shout out to Kane. Kane set up one of the first Ghetto Concept shows ever with Dolo and Quadro, which was
mm.
on Brand Nubians back in the days. So from that time, things just escalated, and they started doing more shows on their own, and they got a manager. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, we never really took it that serious. I never took it serious at first. You know what I'm saying?
So then
I never took it that serious.
how did you become involved officially then? Was it them reaching out to you, or is you now stepping to them kind of thing? I'm just curious to know
Yeah.
how that happened.
Well, me and Quadro, we were like we were like we were friends. You know what I mean? Quadro was
Okay.
like my bro. Like when school when we have lunch, I'm looking for Quadro. We're going to lunch. Like we're going to go
Okay.
to the plaza. You know, and basically that's how it all started out. Like with me and Quadro. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in the
No
group
doubt.
now.
Shout out. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Let me not interrupt your
No, I was
shadow.
just saying shout out to Quadro.
For
And
sure.
Dolo for
Yeah.
sure. Mm.
Okay, so now you're in the group now, so you lay your track and you get great response, I'm sure. So continue on with that now. Continue
Okay.
on with your
Okay.
experience, your early out experience with
Okay.
Ghetto Concept. Yeah.
All right. So we decided to shoot a video for Easy on the Motion, and then at that time the track was getting a lot of airplay, and people were requesting us on tour because the track was actually fire at the time. And while we're on tour, we went away with Chaos and Rascals. We had two vans driving across the whole of Canada, you know, and Chaos was driving our van. We were in one van, sharing the driving, and then Rascals was in the next one. And the funny thing is, I think it was the Rascals or one of them. They
Mm.
took a wrong turn, and we went to the border, and they searched the van, and
Oh
I
no!
remember they flipped everything upside down. They flipped us up. Like, yo, it was one of
Wow.
those experiences. Like, I mean, we were young at the time.
Those,
We had trees in the way, but we were lucky at that time, because we are really young at the time. So I mean, that was like a little warning and be cautious on tour.
Lucky.
But yeah, but I
Those are
mean,
the back. You know, it's those backdrop stories that I love to
I know,
demonstrate.
right?
You know, the tour stories and the stuff that you know you don't get to hear. You know, if you have anything that you would like
yeah,
to volunteer, you know, you give us, fill us in, like, you know, like as we're going through your biography of your timeline, you know, with
yeah,
ghetto concept. If anything you want to drop in there, just drop in and let the people know those stories that, you know, people would never hear, or you know, or little funny moments that
yeah,
we
for
could get a
sure.
grasp of, you know,
Yeah, for
that
sure.
built up infinite, built up ghetto concept, built up,
Yeah,
even the
yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, but to add in that, after we came back from that tour, they dropped our first video that we ever had, the first video I ever had, first video Quadro and Dolo ever had. They dropped that while we were on the tour, and that was Easy on Emotion. And then we won an award for that at the Juno Awards. So that was Juno #2. But I mean, while we're on that tour, I mean, I noticed Chaos. Shout out to Chaos. I noticed
Right.
Chaos, starting to, smoke his, and twist up his hair, and
Mm-hmm.
but we're protecting him out there while he's with us. We're protecting him, because he's rolling with us. Of course, we're looking out for him. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. But we're in, I think it was Manitoba, and I don't know what happened, but all I remember was niggas wanted to get at him, and we're like, "Are you crazy? Like, you know what I mean? We're not gonna let you get at him, you know?"
Wow. Hmm.
And they're like talking to him like, "Yo, you think because you're here with Ghetto Concept, like, they're wiling up." But they had to just easy themselves, because they know we're from Toronto. Toronto's like the LA and New York of Canada, so
Right.
you already know they had to just easy, yeah, easy. You can't touch chaos, can't talk to
so
chaos. You know what I'm saying?
what was it about chaos that they were trying to get at? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't
because we
know.
know
I don't
like
know.
chaos was proper, and
Yeah,
he was getting shine. He was a little bubble. Was it anything
yeah.
because he was proper, or or was it, he was just different, or was it he just easy target? They couldn't come at ghetto concept. They couldn't come at Rascal. Like, what was it?
I don't know if they're looking to get at anybody, but I don't know if something prior that we didn't notice happened.
Mm.
You know, but whatever it was, we weren't having it because if you roll with us, no one could talk to you. That's how we roll.
Mm-hmm.
No one could talk to you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody. No matter if I'm rolling with you, it's the same thing. Nobody could talk to you. That's just naturally like that. So he was rolling with us, and nobody could have talked to him. Nobody could have looked at him.
It's a
Yeah, and we just kept
reciprocal.
moving.
So
Yeah,
you were performing. So this was like a cross country tour, basically, that kind of thing. So you were like making stops and performing at different venues on your way, or was this like you were heading to a show type of thing? But it sounded like it was
okay.
more like a tour.
You know what? We started
Mm.
from Toronto, and we went
Okay.
up to Sudbury, and we just kept going to the next city, more west, and then we got to Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta. Like, but as we're going further, I'm like, okay, we're driving to these places. How are
Yeah.
we getting back? Are we gonna like? We're driving back because I ain't trying to hear that. Like, so on our
That's a
way,
piece of driving for.
yeah, on our way, we're trying to figure out ways to like tell them, they stole the van, you know, so they can send us
You're
some
so
tickets,
wrong.
so they can send us some plane tickets and stuff, so we could just fly back.
Wow.
So I mean, well, when we got there, we had to drive back still, you know.
And what time of the year was this? Please tell me it
You
couldn't
know,
have been winter.
it was July. It was
Oh,
July.
okay, so that's a nice
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I've always
I
wanted to
wasn't
do
trying to
that,
hear that.
I've always
Still a
wanted to
3 day
take a
drive.
drive.
Listen, being on the road, that's still a 3 day drive. Like, that ain't
I
no easy
know.
feat after you've been touring, right? City to city and performing.
I know, man. We did it pretty good. We did it in 2.5 days.
Wow.
Like, you know
That's
what I
a
mean?
tour. Just saying,
Trust me,
touring
man.
and touring. Wow. That's a big
You
feat.
see, you see what I'm saying?
And so you're mentioning, so it's
Yeah.
Rascal, Chaos, Ghetto Concept. This is
Yeah.
like
And
King of hip hop.
Madlocks was there too with
Okay.
us.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Madlocks. Yeah.
Now,
Mm.
okay, so of that memory, so and at what point and how like the when you heard you were nominated and like for the Juno at that point? Because I think you said it was during that time that you found out or about the video dropped. So
Yeah.
how did that hit you guys? Like, were you expecting it, or I mean, the feedback, the love?
Oh, yeah. It was so crazy because our first video dropped on my birthday. Like
Oh,
first
nice.
video we ever had, like it dropped on my birthday. So it was. I remember. I think we were in. I think we were in Saskatchewan or going on our way to Alberta when that happened. You know,
Okay.
that's how far we got. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So let me.
So
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Not.
how long been since you've been away from the scene, the mic, the recording studio, or have you
mm,
always been working? Like, you know,
You know, I've been away. I've been away. I've been on and off from the studio, and then I had setbacks at the same time that kind of made me ease off of the music and focus on life at the same time.
Hmm.
And then I'd get back to the studio again, and then other things, setbacks to get in the way again. And then, it just was like a cycle like that. So it was on and off for the last, like you said, 10 years or even more. You know
yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
what
On and off though.
Okay, so let me get back to this. Okay, so this, so you complete this tour. So basically, like you end, you come back to Toronto. You guys are doing your thing. You're
Yeah.
um, releasing more music, and performing. Where else did you perform? I'm sure after that, like,
Um, we performed. Oh yeah, I don't even know how I forgot this, but before the video dropped, we
mm,
we went to How Can I Be Down.
oh yeah,
For
Miami.
those who don't know what that is, yeah, they had it. They have it like in Miami.
They had
They have
different,
it in
yeah.
they had it in Washington. Yeah. So this
Yes,
at
yes,
this
yes.
point, we went to where Howard Homecoming was, which was
Ah,
Washington.
okay.
That, so Howard University, we performed at Howard University, and everybody was there again, like
Yep,
Biggie
that's big.
Smalls,
Mhm.
everybody, like yeah. Um, Before that, like a month before that, 2 months before that, was Jack the Rapper seminar,
Okay, yep.
and the same thing. I see Puff Daddy, Biggie,
Yeah.
Snoop,
Mhm.
Suge Knight, everybody, like everybody staying on the same hotel. So we were scheduled to perform, and this was actually my first. This was actually my first big show
Okay.
before the tour,
Mhm.
before that whole tour too. So me walking out to do my verse for Easy on the Motion, I didn't know. I thought I almost froze up, man, because I seen like mostly it's all industry people.
Yeah.
Everybody's an artist or a manager or because I see SWV leaning on the stage, looking in my face like ready for me to spit, and I'm like, my first show, like what I'm saying, and then
Yeah, yeah,
and then
yeah.
Death
That's
Death Row
crazy.
Records, every Funk Master Flex, everybody's in there.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what broke the butterflies for me in my stomach to do shows like that. Right, that moment right there, I'll never forget that. You know?
Man. So
Yeah, yo.
let me ask, like at that point, how were you as Canadian artists received? Like were you feeling like, okay, they looked at you just like on the same level, or was there a difference? Did you have feelings like you weren't being looked at the same way? Or because
You
we
know
always
what?
talk about like when Canada like started getting respect, you know what I mean, or Canadian artists.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I was looking at it like what you just said. Like, okay, they're gonna hear it from Canada, so they're probably gonna be like, So we have to show them that we're not. You
Mm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of attitude, like, so when we went on that stage and we started spitting, I think I still have footage from that too. People were like,
Oh, nice.
okay. People are like, you hear reaction from the crowd when we started spitting, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah. And
different,
you could feel that, I
Mhm.
guess, as an
Like,
artist that
yeah, you hear P Diddy and all of them in the crowd making noise.
wow.
That's how you
Yeah.
know that it was official.
yeah.
Like, when the big man them are giving you love like that.
And you don't
You
hear
see,
that
that's
buzz, like just that talking, like people are backs turned and you just hear talking. Like I guess that would be
Yeah,
the worst, but okay.
you see,
yeah,
that's the difference between Canada and see at the time. I remember when you guys were out, everyone was still trying to say that we're from New York or we're from Detroit or from anywhere else but Toronto. It wasn't a Toronto pride thing.
yeah,
It's like this was the budding of Toronto, the pride of Toronto. Like, you know what, and how we get coined the screw face capital world. Like America, you could rock America. If you're good, you're good. They'll rock with you. But it's like we don't respect nobody up here, and that's the big
yeah,
difference. They support what you're doing down there. So as you said, when the big man them are feeling something, they're feeling it, and that's when
yeah. And the thing that probably helped us after too was the fact that we were like the first group from Canada to get their video played on BT
Oh, wow.
CD.
BT,
Okay.
yeah.
Mm.
So, I mean, my show did it as a solo artist, but as a group, we were the first that shared that moment and Video Music Box. A lot of people don't know about Video Music
Oh
Box,
yeah,
which
no,
is,
no, no. What was the host again?
you
I
know,
forget his name. Is
I don't even
oh man,
remember,
I
but
forget his name. But I could only see that when I was in New York. Like we didn't have it. It's not like
yeah,
now, right? Where you can go online or like things you have the box or something. So I remember Ralph McDaniels. Was that
I can't even remember his name.
or am I mixing up? Anyway, I there was a show anyway, and so yeah, when I went and then you can absorb. So okay, so you guys were featured or you had your video on rotation there
Yeah,
on that
yeah,
show? Okay.
exactly. Yeah, so I mean, and Video Music Box though, it's like one of them shows where people want to see you, or if you're whack, you're not coming on the show. It's one of those.
Yeah, I wonder if I'm mixing it up. Anyway, okay.
Yeah,
Anyway, but I
Were
mean, so
you
you're getting
guys?
love south of the border, but I like honestly, I could say up here you were getting love because I mean, at a time, especially where there
Yeah,
was all the like the bad boy and
mhm.
I mean, it's easy to say big and even West Coast and like further south, the Outcast, like eventually, like in the '90s we were still hearing your music and we were like, yo, this is nice, like we got ours now, we could add to the mix. I remember me and my girls feeling like that. So
yeah. You gave
but
a
I hear
sense of
what you're
pride, the
saying though, Kennedy. I
grassroots.
hear what you're saying though, like bigger and we're always, I hear what you're saying too, but I think you guys were
Well, when it
still
came down, yeah,
buzzing
I
and
think when it came down to
mhm.
grassroots was the was I would say was the pride moment for all real hip hop heads, not the commercial hip hop heads, but like the whole grassroots movement was. We all sat there and said, yeah, we, you know what, yeah, that's us.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
The original Rude Boys, Rex Still Crew again, was
Mhm.
coming out, at the same time. Jellystone, shout out Jellystone, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's
for
grassroots. The
sure.
whole grassroots movement was our pinnacle, our turning point.
Mm.
The ghetto concept was our crowning achievement at that time for the underground real music, real
Yes,
hip hop
yes,
music. I'll say
yes.
I'll put the stamp on that. You
Ooh.
know,
Yeah,
Now
for
let me
sure.
ask.
Like,
Mm.
shout out to Grassroots for sure. Like at that era what you just mentioned. You know what I mean? Real talk. Shout out, man.
So highlight of your time as a part of Ghetto Concept. Like what would you, or your memories or highlights? Maybe we can't pinpoint it to one, but what would you say those are?
Um, Automatically when you said that, I just remember being in the elevator, me and Quadro, and the elevator was about to close, and we got on the elevator, and there was a few people in the elevator, and we made it before the door closed, and then we look up, and we see Suge, right?
Oh,
Suge
okay.
Knight, yeah, Suge is looking down, and then and then and then we see Corrupt and Daz on each side of him,
All right.
and he had like one or two girls with him, and then we're like, okay. But Suge mumbled something in the elevator, I don't know. I didn't get what he said. He was mumbling something. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But you already know. Toronto, we don't really care. We don't care what anybody's saying right now. Whatever.
But
So
Suge,
he
I don't
got,
know. He's a little different.
yeah, but
You have to
how
count a different
mentality
level.
up there.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah. So he got out on like the fourth floor. So me and Quadro got out on the fourth floor too, just to see what was popping, like just to see like where's the party? Where's everybody
Right.
going? Like so we got out and then he brought these girls in his room, whatever. I'm not trying to bait up Sugar, nothing like that, you know.
Oh, well,
You
he's,
know,
where
whatever.
is he
But
now?
they're just doing
Whatever.
their thing.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they're doing their thing, you know, but um as and they're just doing their thing. But that right there, just the whole fact that, you know, Death Row was popping at the time, and the whole fact, the whole Suge Knight's perception that he was giving everybody, and what we would hear about them, and just squeeze ship in the elevator with Suge Knight, that was a highlight for me.
And
That
just
right
being
there,
like
and
you're in the same space. You're like same place, same space, and
yeah,
you're
like
kind of
yeah,
on that like
I'm giving him
there.
room. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like you know, and
So
then the whole Biggie Smalls thing.
yeah.
Just the
What's
So
that?
fact that
you
we
didn't
seen
have
Biggie
the 30.
Smalls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you didn't have the
Go on,
30s,
go on.
you know, the 30. You didn't have the 30-second elevator pitch ready for how I could, you know, how to be down. You were in the thing at Suge Knight. That was your moment. You didn't say a word. It was like, "What's up?" Like, what was the background story on that?
Say that again, cause the connection. Say it again.
I'm saying is that, you know what, you're in the biggest networking conference, or, you know, performance conference, you know, at the
Yeah,
time. You're with one of the top, you know, industry heads at the time,
yeah, yeah,
Death Row Records.
yeah.
You're with, you know, in the elevator. You didn't have your 30-second elevator pitch ready, like, you know, like you guys froze, like, you know, what was happening there, like,
We
you
weren't
know what I
even
mean,
thinking
like,
about that,
was
you know.
anybody interested when you were, well, yeah, okay, when you perform, but you're there to perform to get noticed and network, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, were you not in that mindset? Like, was it just like, yo, hey, you know what, Suge Knight, wow, like, you know?
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, it was like a thing where in the moment, it was in the moment where, you know what? This is Suge Knight, but you know what? We're gonna see him again. We're gonna see him tomorrow because we're staying on. You
Mm.
know, where everybody's staying in the same
Yeah.
place. Same with Biggie. Like, okay, I see him every day. We're gonna talk again. Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those situations. So we weren't even thinking as kids, new in the industry at the time. Okay, start either try to market your things, try to talk to these guys. Like we weren't even thinking on a level, business level that we think now, like where our mind is right now. We weren't thinking like that, you know. But we were still like going up to people and talking to them. But there are certain times where we weren't in that mind frame. We're like, yo, this is Sugar. Like, is this really Sugar? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Uh,
Plus, he only went
so
to the
was there
fourth
anybody?
floor. If they went to the 14th, maybe they would have had a little more time. It would have, you know what I mean? But it sound like a short ride, and he's with the females. You're kind of like, oh, okay, not
So
the right
was
time.
there
Yeah,
anybody?
yeah, yeah. You know?
Was there anybody at that time? You know, when you guys performed, who was interested in ghetto concept? Like, you know what? Like, you guys got your approval. People were shouting out, you're getting love. Was there any heads that were like, yo, we
Mhm.
interested in, you know, like signing these guys?
Well, back then, who was hot at the time was showing us love. Like, I remember homeboy, what's his name now? Okay, Common was one of them that was like, yo, you guys are dope. He came up
Oh,
to us and was like, yo, you
wow.
guys are dope.
Okay.
Yeah. And then my boy from Paid in Full, my boy that goes, he's trying to get out of the game. My boy that has his wrap up with the bandage that got shot. You know what I'm
Oh,
talking?
Oh,
And Paid in Full.
yeah,
And they shot him in his crib, tried to let him go in the safe. Yeah. And he's
right.
like, I'm out of this, man. Yeah. Anyways, he was like on us like that too, and showing us mad love, man. He was showing us mad love. You know what I mean? There's a lot of other people, but those two right away just stood out. Like, yo, you guys are dope.
okay.
You guys are
So,
dope.
Nobody was trying to Mondo. That's where I'm trying to get the backstory. I'm trying to pull it out of him. I'm like, who was like, yo, you know what? All right, you guys are dope. Let's talk. Let's sit down and talk. And it maybe have never transpired, but, you know,
Yeah.
stories, you know.
so let me ask you this now. So everything, I mean, you've had great experiences. Uh, you know, your first experiences as far as first video, first major performances, tour, stuff like that. So where did it come to an end, or how did that happen? Why did you eventually, because you eventually left the group and the group continued on. So what happened there?
Okay. Okay. So 1995, like a lot of things happened in that year. I mean,
Hmm.
that's the year when we were doing well. That's the year, the first video, the year we won the first Juno. They went on tour. Um, that year, I remember my brother said, "Yo, you're dope. You're ill. If you were to do some solo stuff, I put money into you. You know what I'm saying? I support you to support your thing, like put money into you because you know them times he had a lot of paper, my
Hmm.
bro. But them times he
This is
was
Kane,
into
your brother Kane. That's
life.
who you're referring to.
Nah,
Oh.
this was my second brother.
Hmm.
This is my second brother, Squigs. You know,
Okay. Okay.
so I mean, and then a couple months later,
Hmm.
I got that call. I was at the studio, and my brother passed away.
Mm.
And then on my way to the studio, I remember I remember storming out the studio, and Dolo followed me when I got in the car, and I drove to the hospital. And while I was driving, I don't know, I think I was driving kind of crazy, but I was, you know, I just wanted to get to the hospital. But I remember telling Dolo, yo, if my brother's gone, I'm going solo, you know, like fuck this music shit. Like, you know, I was just like mad.
Mm.
I don't even know if I said, no, I didn't even say I'm going solo. I just said, yo, if he's gone, yo, fuck this music. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
that kind of mind frame. So yeah, he passed away, and then I was like, yo,
Mm.
forget this music stuff. You know what I mean? Like I had so much anger, and then I started making decisions, like some bad decisions, taking out my anger on people, you know, out on the road, and you know, people that I felt like, people that I ever felt that I should take it out on. I was just taking it out on people that were innocent. I was taking it out on, and then you doing a little more concept stuff, but it just wasn't working after that. Like I was just in a different mind frame. Like the speed I was moving at, I remember, it started moving different. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So like, you know, like for instance, Quadro tried to warn me and say, "Yo, what are you doing? You know, what are you
Mm.
doing, man? What are you doing? Just kind of easy, you know, because my
As
head
in
was getting hotter."
things you were getting involved in or things you were doing,
Yeah,
that type of thing. Okay.
yeah. Like, what are you doing with that? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, why you? Like, you know,
Mm. Okay.
like I had my own reasons. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
As a youth, you gotta keep in mind I was like 20. You know what I'm saying? So I was just thinking differently. You know, so I mean, as time went on, we get into, you know, little disagreements. Like, yo, we're ghetto concept. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's our name. Like, you know. But we fight as brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like we're brothers fighting. But
Hmm.
then we just figured out, you know what? Let's just, you know, I think we're gonna have to do our own thing. Like we both said that, and we both went our separate ways. I just remember my brother saying if you went solo, that he would support in that way. So I said I'm gonna do for him, and I just went solo. You know what
Okay.
I mean? And then that's when I just came out with my first Infinite track, which was "Gotta Get Mine."
Hmm.
You know?
And how soon
Just
after?
oh wow,
How
I
soon
thought it
after
was
making that decision? Yeah. No, I remember. Go ahead.
no. I was saying I thought it was if your eyes could see. You know, I thought no. What was it?
Take a look. Yeah, take a look.
If your eyes can see what I can see. Yeah, what was your first single, solo single?
You know what? "Gotta Get Mine" was my first track, first solo
Okay,
single.
okay.
Yeah,
Mind you,
yeah.
I'm going off by memory, so I apologize. I mean,
No, no, no.
you know,
That's
I'm still
okay,
a
man.
fan.
That's okay, bro. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So,
So how
um,
soon after making that decision now to uh separate? So it wasn't like, first of all, because I was always curious. Like, so it wasn't like musical differences or anything, or direction, like where you guys wanted to take it or how you wanted to make your moves or anything like that. It was really just you, like personal, it was like for personal reasons.
um, at, at one point, it may have been a little bit of music differences.
Okay.
You know, at one point it started getting a little bit like that. You know what I mean? But it was already at a point where, you know, brothers are thinking different. Brothers are thinking different. I'm going on a different, their own path. I'm going on my, what I see and what I'm going through at the time. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really, I can't really be mad at them for thinking how they were thinking, and I don't think they're mad at me for what I was going through, because it's no one's fault. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, and then the second single that I dropped was a thing where it was 360 degrees,
Right.
and
Remember
I was
that
supposed to
one.
do a video for that. Shout out Julie Black. Um, supposed to shoot a video for that, and this is another one of those times where I was still getting twined up in my bullshit. This, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those things where I was supposed to get bail. Let's say like on a Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
and the video is gonna be shot on a Saturday. So if I didn't get bail, they would have shot the video without me. It was one of those situations. I was in there for weeks though, but then my bail hearing was like on a Wednesday. You know, I
Mm-hmm.
got out, and I mean, there was even like a 1-2 man I seen Don at the time that
Mm-hmm.
were actually in the video. So they came out, we came out, we reunited again, and we did the video. They're in the video, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, but I remember everybody that was on the range was remembering that, yo, oh yeah, so he got out. That's the video. Like that, like it's all fell in
The
alignment.
timing of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So they kind of was a part of that story where, okay, that's the video that he wouldn't have been in, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So that video came out, and Julie Black blessed it. Shout out again, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And how did you connect with her? How
Out
how
the
did that?
bag. Yeah.
Say it again.
What year was this? Now, what year was this, and how did you connect with her?
Oh, okay, so this is '98.
Oh, okay.
This is '98. Still a young buck, but you know, um, she
They-
was doing her thing in the industry,
Right, right.
and it was just a thing where we needed a
I
singer,
thought it
and
was
I
a.
forgot whose idea.
Sorry, no, I was saying I thought it
Whose
was a little
idea?
earlier than that, like a just a little earlier.
Oh,
But yeah, by that time she would have had. Yeah, she would have been. Okay.
yeah. So somebody said, "Yo, let's draw for Julie Black," and then we just drew for Julie Black to see how the combination would sound, and it came out right.
Yeah.
You know, she did her thing, man. You know.
Okay. So
So
then take a look. That's what you were talking about, Kinetic. That was on featured on another album. So did you? I'm just trying to remember. Did you have a complete album because that was featured on another album as well, right? That
Well,
single.
take a look. Yeah, take a look was on our EP, and it was on actually on Rap Essentials.
That's it. Okay.
With BMG.
Hmm.
So, I mean, take a look. Yeah, that was one of those other tracks where we decided to do an animated video, and we actually won 2 awards for that. Too much music video awards for that video.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
what, and
So,
Rap City now, Toronto's Rap City, Much Music's Rap City. How instrumental is that in your career and
yeah.
how like important? Yeah.
Oh, Rap
Do you,
City would play a major role because that's across the whole city, the whole country.
country, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if you had satellite too, you can get it if you're in the States.
Hmm.
So I mean, Rap City, Master T days,
Hmm.
yo, like we had, I don't know, it's like you don't realize until
What
way
we have.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yep.
like it's like a thing where we could just walk inside Much Music and just say, "Oh, play this," but you can't do that anymore. Like it's
No.
not like that anymore. You know what I mean? It's not the same
right.
people on the panel. It's not the same people. It's not. It's just not the same. You
Yeah, it's
know?
totally different now, but it was more street and like especially down on Queen. Like you just felt like the
Yeah.
door was open to like real artists. And yeah, looking back, I mean, one of my this is talking about another artist, but Mary J. Blige, one of my favorite interviews and performance all in one was Rap City, and I've always wanted a copy of that tape because I thought Mary live was flawless on that. And I think it just the environment it created with people there, um,
Mhm.
like having the live audience. I mean,
Yeah,
they were so ahead, right? Of
yeah.
with the idea of having the live audience. And so um yeah, definitely. And
Hmm.
back then though, we again, that was something I was locked into. Like I looked forward to it. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whatever time it was coming on and saying, okay, which artists and which videos and stuff like that. So I could see that playing a big role.
Well, Rap City, like as you said, that's another highlight where I remember Old Dirty Bastard was supposed to perform or do something, host or something,
Yeah.
and we were on the same segment. But I remember when we got down to Much Music before it started, Old Dirty Bastard was pissed off, and we're across the street from Much Music trying to calm him down because he wanted to slap. He's like, yo, I want to slap the shit out of. Like he's talking about Michelle Geister, the producer of Rap City.
Oh wow.
She, yeah, he wanted to crush her, and we're like talking to him. He's like, nah, nah, you know. I
Oh
remember
no.
trying to calm him down, but I don't even think he ended up doing the show. I forgot what happened. You know
Oh
what I'm
wow.
saying? Yeah, rest in peace, Old Dirty Bastard, man. You know
Quite
what
the
I mean?
character. No, he's I have an old dirty story, but I think no, it's very, very, very minor, very minor. But he's
You
aggressive,
got them
and you know what?
stories.
No, 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 no. Because I said it. No, we went to a concert. It was down at
Yeah,
government like grounds. It was huge, like Wu Tang and like Smith and
yeah.
Wesson and all those guys. It was like, and we were leaving, and
Mm,
there's like the fence, or not the fence, but they put up those grills or whatever. We're walking and minding our business. All of a sudden, he grabs my wrist, and next man grabs my friend's wrist, and they're like pulling us.
yeah,
And we're like, yo, we can't even, know. So and
yeah,
then he
yeah.
insists on the security, yo, open the barrier, open the barrier. And so this man would not let go. And so there was more of us. There was like total 5, 6 girls. It was
Oh
two of us.
man.
And we got dragged to the back. And it's like, but it was crazy. I mean, it might sound like, well, how could someone, but yeah, the aggression, the grip.
Oh man.
But it turned out
Oh
to be
man.
kind of crazy, and it was funny because they drag us back there. We get back there, and then they release us, and it's like, okay. Um, and so it's so funny.
Oh
We ended up
god.
talking to the Black Moon guys and everything like that. It was crazy, and then we left. So there was no continuation after that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, just crazy moments. So he's but yeah, rest in
He was
peace,
a
dirty bastard. Yeah, but
It's crazy
um,
because every seminar, everything we attended, like we would all see the same circle. The
mm,
same circle, like Old Dirty Bastard. When we're in How Could I Be Down, he's there. At
yeah,
in the next seminar, he's there. Biggie's there. Everybody's the same circle. You always see them in different cities at the same different seminars. It was crazy. Alcanelli and
oh gosh,
Old Dirty
wow,
Bastard kicked off in Florida
mm,
in a club. And I think Alcanelli and Old Dirty was beefing, and I think gunshots went off. And yo, Rude, I remember my bro Rude was there. I'm not gonna get into it, but Rude experienced that. Shout out to Two Rude. He experienced that too with us. We
yeah.
seen what was going on, all the bullshit that was going on down there. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you,
So
man, this music industry, it gets crazy, man.
with your solo career, and I might put you on the spot with this one, but and things happen the way they're supposed to. I truly believe in that. But do you ever have regrets, and do you ever have thoughts of what could have been if you had stayed with the group? I mean, considering like what
Mm,
you were doing,
mm,
the circles you were in, and the buzz and
mm,
the success you were having as a group,
mm,
do you ever
mm.
think back to that time and say, what
Um,
if, or should have, could have, that type of thing?
um, I think we all thought about like what would happen if we stayed together.
Hmm.
I think I thought about it, like how far, what would have happened, how much more success would we have seen as a group, because the way it was going, it was real powerful,
Hmm.
you know. But regret, I can't regret going my own way because everything happens for a reason.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because if I never did that, then I wouldn't have grown and got to experience other things. Because when I came out of the group, to be honest with you, I seen more success as infinite,
Mhm.
in some senses. You know what I'm saying? But I think now when you think of it, Ghetto Concept was like a mega super group, man.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah, like Ghetto Concept was like the group. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean,
Dolo. Mhm.
that's the natural progression of groups anyway. Like, what happens is like the standout stars, because let's face it, and Ghetto Concept will always and always remain one of my favorite groups. And not saying that because you're there. I
Mhm.
still have your 12-inch promo copies in my house. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
have that on my wall. Like, you know what I mean? I even put that. The joke is, I'm gonna tag you, and it was before we
Yo,
even knew
send
you
me
were coming
that.
to the show.
Yeah.
I actually put that out. You know what I mean? Like on what's it called again?
On
On
the gram.
Instagram, IG.
Yeah.
I was just highlighting some of the favorite records, promo records, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Easy on the motion
Yeah.
and stuff. Those promo copies, I have them to this day. But
That's
not
crazy.
saying that. Yeah, but I was saying, if you were in that group, do you have trouble? I mean, you're on a reckless path, and you let out the bag. You went to hell, or you went to
Yeah.
prison.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get into why you went into prison or anything bad, but you went
Yeah.
on a reckless path. And it
Yeah.
inhibited you. But if you believe, if you were still a part of that group, you would have had those moments, those roadblocks.
Um. I mean, which roadblocks? Like going to prison?
Oh, going to prison, like you're on a reckless path. You know what I mean? And you went to
Mm.
prison
Yeah.
because you're doing dirt work.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
do you think that if you had steadfast with the group, you would have you saw successes, you saw, as you said, you're probably more profitable successes, things of that nature. But do you believe that you would have had that roadblock of going to prison and stunting your career and things of that nature
Um.
if you would have stayed with the group?
I think that no matter what, I think it would have happened because of the reason why I was feeling the way I was feeling towards people in the street, yeah, at the time. I think just losing my brother, I'm not gonna blame it on that, but I'm gonna say that's what made me who I
Catalyst.
was at the time. You know what I mean? That's where my anger came from, just losing my brother. So whether I was in the group or not, it would have been the same anger. You
Mhm.
know? Yeah, it would have
Do
been the
you have people
same
tweeting in
anger,
your
man.
ear? But did you have people tweeting in your ear saying you're one of the better rappers? Like, this is a hot seat. I always ask the hot seat questions respectfully, of course. Did you have
You know
people
what?
tweeting in the camp? Everybody has their camp tweeting in your ear saying, you know what? Okay, you're one of the stronger rappers. You know what I mean? You're the star of the group, or you know what I mean? Like things of that nature to stand out.
You always
And
have that.
that was the influence.
You know
Yeah.
what? You always will have. The answer is yes. I had people in my ear that were on both, like with that was in within our own circle, our Ghetto Concept circle. Like people would make comments like, "Yo, you're the method man of the group," or "Yo, you're the this, you're the that." You know what I'm saying? But I would just brush it off because I'm a loyal nigga still. Like I'm loyal. So those things wouldn't phase me. I don't care what this guy said, but respect for the compliment though, respect. But and then
I mean, no, that was the word on the street. I'm not,
yeah,
I mean, I'm
yeah,
just,
yeah,
as I
yeah,
said,
yeah,
Dodo Quadro, those moppers, Rex
yeah, for
forever. You
sure.
know what I mean?
Oh, for
Love,
sure,
love.
bro.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that was a talk, right?
yeah,
At the
yeah,
time, it was like saying,
yeah,
"Yo, Infinite was a standout." Like, and I
yeah.
wonder if that was part of the cause of you. Like your brother may have been the catalyst, but was it the tweeting in the ear saying that you basically you the star of the group, or you're the one carrying the group, or you know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
necessarily. Let me rephrase that. Not you carrying the group, but you're the star of the group or the standout of the group. Was that
Mhm.
part of the reason why you left and to do your own thing? That's basically what I'm
Nah,
getting at.
nah, that's not why. The whole reason was because of that comment my brother made to me before he passed away. That's what made me do the solo thing. But I realized that since we were young, Dolo and Quadro and myself, our height difference, like we have a height difference, and they're
Mm.
taller. They're taller than me. So what they would
Right.
do when we were in photo shoots, the photographer, whether it was a newspaper, the Sunday Sun, the Star magazines, they would put me in the
Yeah.
middle.
Right.
not realizing that people are gonna think that I'm the leader. We weren't even looking at it like that. You know what I mean? So me being in the middle all the time, the photographer is asking us to stand in the middle, me to stand in the middle, because these guys it balances out the picture, right? That's where people got it confused and thought that that guy's the leader. I wasn't the leader. You know what I mean? We were all on the same level. And Dolo was Quadro was talented too. And I thought Dolo was one of the sickest rappers in Canada.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I thought Dolo was like one of the sickest out here, like in the country. He was one of my favorite rappers still. Like in the group, I was like, yo, this nigga's sick. You know what I mean? But people didn't get to see that side that I saw.
Mm.
Yeah. So I mean,
Why
yeah,
not
man.
though? Why do you think that was? Like, why do you say that?
Um, when we're in the studio, like I always had this thing because in school I always learned that my teacher said to me, "Yo, the clearest rappers, the ones that speak clearly, are the most
Mm.
successful rappers." So I don't know that that's that little thing the man said to me
Mm.
stuck to me, and I noticed realize when you hear me rapping in any one of my tracks, you could understand what I'm saying
Very true. Word for
because,
word.
just
Yeah.
because of my teacher, what he said to me.
Wow.
When I go in the booth, I have this thing. So I used to make Dolo like when he was spitting. I used to say, "Yo, spit it again," and Quadro too. Like we all had that. Like I
Mm.
would tell Quadro to spit that again, say it more clearly, let them hear what you're saying. Like
Mhm.
pronounce your words. Like and he was sick. Tracks that we didn't come out with, I wish you guys heard, man. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Yeah, crazy.
The unreleased. Maybe that's what
Yeah.
you guys need to get together and do.
No, man.
Unreleased single. And you need to be telling some of these new school, new rappers, you need to teach them that because, like,
You know what? I'm an artist developer. So like I do
okay.
artist development and I
Yeah.
help artists. That's what I do. So I
So
mean,
before we jump up, because I do want to find out more about what you're doing today, modern day.
yeah,
Okay, but on your own, you also had some more success. Uh, one of your you did the Street Fighter 3.
okay,
Yeah, talk about that and also your appearances. Like you made a little did a little acting and stuff like that. So like,
yeah,
and this was still you were working with your brother. This is where Kane comes in. Like I mean I brought him in earlier, but were you
yeah,
still working with him at this point, or this is you
yeah.
kind of
Me
doing?
me and Kane was working together from the get go. From I
Okay.
started Ghetto Concept, and
Okay.
then when I went solo, it was me. It was me and Kane that just kept it moving. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And then with the Street Fighter thing, Capcom. Everybody, I don't know if they're familiar with Capcom, but they're the company that creates all these video games from over in China. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So they came looking for an artist to rap on Street Fighter 3, and they, as in Capcom, came and everybody auditioned for to be a part of this game, and I ended up getting it. Like I mean, everybody as in everybody that was hot at the time, Cardinal, Shot Clear, Ghetto Concept, Maestro, Socrates, even female rappers like Mishi Me. Shout out to Mishi.
Mhm.
Um, so much people came out, and I was grateful for them to pick me at the time because the beat that they gave us at the audition that you had to rap on was a
Mhm.
fast Japanese video game. It's like it
Wow.
wasn't a hip hop beat, so I think that threw a lot of people off. But for some reason, it was like one of those up tempos too, like like, and I
Wow.
just rapped on it. I just rapped on it, and these Chinese guys that didn't speak English, they're amazed. Like they're just like, "What?" They're telling the translator, "Yo, like what that guy?"
Oh, nice.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I got to, but I didn't have a lot of time to do what they wanted me to do.
Mhm.
It's one of the opportunities that I had that was huge. That they came to me on a Sunday and said, "Okay, we need 3 songs from you
Oh, wow.
tomorrow.
Wow.
3 songs tomorrow. Can you
And
have three
based
songs
on
ready
what?
by
Like, based on
tomorrow?"
what? The game? The like, how would you have to come up? Based like
Uh, you see, that's my first reaction. I was like, "Huh? 3 songs? I'm not. At first, I was like, a part of my head was like, I'm not. How am I gonna do this? That's impossible. I
Yeah.
have to write 3 songs from scratch.
Yeah.
So they gave the instrumental too, 3 instrumentals, and I said, you know what, man? Let me just start writing,
Mm.
see how far I get. Let me just write it. And I wrote, and I finished all 3 songs. And I went to the studio. I kind of amazed myself that I never did that before. You
Wow.
know what I mean? I never did
Yeah.
that. Now I don't even do that now. 3 songs in one day with different verses on the songs. You know
Yeah,
what
that's
I'm saying?
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
So I went to the studio and did the 3 songs, and then they had me do voiceovers like round one, fight, you know,
Yeah.
KO, you lose. Like I did like about 500 words.
Wow.
So I mean, if you guys ever play Street Fighter 3, the third strike, yo, that's my voice, man.
Oh my
You know
goodness.
what I
Did you
mean?
get royalties off of those?
I'm saying the payout
Yo,
though
Did you get royalties?
must have been
Did you
worth
get
it.
royalties?
yo, the deal that we did, it was a different deal that we set up with them still, but it was actually an opportunity. So it wasn't a thing where that it made me a millionaire or nothing like that, but it was an
Ah,
opportunity to still be a part of it.
Yeah,
You understand what I mean?
yeah.
yeah. It
Yeah,
opened. You're saying open doors, or would have opened doors. That's what you're
yeah, and
thinking about it. Yeah.
yeah, and up to this
All right,
day,
right
like,
of the royalties.
yeah, I know, me too. Oh, me too. But I could,
Oh,
I could have told him, I could have told him to beat it, and then let somebody else do it or do it, and
Yeah, right.
yeah,
and
because
so then
even
how
my
did you, oh, go ahead. No,
say no, sorry, go ahead, go
no,
ahead, go
no, no. Even what? No,
ahead.
I want to hear
Nah,
this.
like even when like my son at the time, like the son when he was small at the time, and my daughter and my next son, like when they're like getting a little older to understand and they're playing the game, I'm like, yo, that's me, and they're like, that
Yeah,
ain't
right.
you, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, yeah, please, like, yo, this is Street Fighter, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, that's me.
Oh my
And it
goodness.
took a while to convince these guys that that's their dad rapping.
Oh
You know what I'm
man.
saying to you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I
Oh, I
mean, that
gotta.
whole Street Fighter thing was crazy though, man.
So
Oh,
what
It was
is
a good
it like?
experience though.
What is it like for them right now? Like, since we touched on that, your children, your personal life. Do they know, like, how do they know that your dad is their dad is a foundation hip hop icon in the city? Like, how do they like, are you just dad, or like, or dad that he died,
Well,
or that's my dad, like, how you know
well, people like when we go to certain functions. Like if me and my son is rolling, if I see somebody, they'll come up to me and start talking to me, and then I'll introduce my son, and they'll look at my son and say, "Yo, do you even realize you know who your dad is?" Like they'll
wow.
get into a conversation like that with him, and then he'll be like, "Yeah, I know who my dad is," but he didn't really know to the extent from what people are telling him, from what his dad contributed into the industry from Toronto. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And from Canada. You know what I'm saying? But now he's grown and he's like he knows what time it is. He knows. He's like, okay, you know what I mean? Shout out to little Inf. You know what I mean? Yeah,
so
little
he
Inf,
felt
mini Inf.
Aw.
has he followed in your footsteps? Has he picked up the craft?
Yeah, he writes, man. We've been to the studio. He's recording, but you know what? If I should have let that out the bag, I don't know if he's gonna kill me for letting that out the bag yet.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying? But he's producing right now. Him and my son, my other son, they're so talented in the producing world right now. Yeah, it's a problem. Like they're a problem.
So
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
any chance they're gonna be working? Are you gonna be working with them? Them working on anything with
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be working with them, but I'm not sure if they're gonna actually produce a song for their dad. But we'll probably make something together and just build an empire. That's what I'm trying to look at more, like building an empire. Me and my little me's. You know what I mean?
Nice. Nice.
Because the age they're going at right now, and the way they're surprising me. And I'm like, what?
And how old are they?
We 16. My
Okay.
son's 16,
Mm,
and the oldest one's 20. You know what I
okay.
mean?
Okay.
My daughter's 17.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Big one. So, so now what are you, because you mentioned artist development or sorry, no, I don't think that's what you said.
Yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
you're
You
doing.
got it right.
Okay, artist development. And
A&R,
Yeah.
A&R,
so
yeah.
what have you been doing, like, since, like, as Kinetic mentioned, the time that we haven't heard you, haven't heard new material from you, what have you been doing? Have you been working behind the scenes in the
Um,
industry at all?
you know, between that time, I did a few little roles here and there, like Redemption, which was
Oh yeah. Okay.
a true story, a movie that was based on Stanley Tookie Williams' life story. And for everybody that doesn't know who Tookie is,
Wow.
that
Crips.
he was the co-founder of the Crip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So playing Tookie Williams, one of Tookie Williams' gang members. But I was a young gang member. He was older, and he was in prison until the day that they executed him in San Quentin.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was something I was doing. Jamie Foxx is featured in the movie. He stars in the movie in Lynn Whitfield. Um, let's check that out. Redemption. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, but even like in Too Deep, that was like more a few years before that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And how did you get
And then
into the acting thing? Was that something you were always interested in, or just by
yeah, I
association?
was Kane, my brother Kane. He's into the film
Or...
business,
Okay.
and I always wanted to do acting. So I mean, with Kane's business mind and his business aura, and my interest in the acting, he, he said, "Yo, let's go to some auditions. Yo, let's do this." You
Mm.
know, I did Drop the Beat. I remember doing Drop the Beat back in the days, and the response I got from Drop the Beat made my confidence even more. Go up. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Where acting is concerned.
And is
Forward,
this? Mm-hmm.
say it again.
No, I was gonna say, is it something you're still interested in? You're still gonna be
Oh yeah,
working
yeah,
on? Yeah.
yeah. I am. I am still. Like you could never. I'm not gonna rap till I'm 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But acting, you can act till you're 70. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's something that I have that I won't put down, and I'm gonna even sharpen my craft by even taking more coaching and acting lessons and stuff like that. You can never know too much. Even as a singer, like I tell them when I'm doing the artist development thing, like you can sing, but it's never too. It's never you don't know. It's never too. It's not hard and it's not bad to learn more. And if you take acting
Mm-hmm.
lessons and singing lessons, it doesn't mean that you're whack. It's just gonna make you even sharper
Exactly.
at your craft. So, no, I'll never leave the acting world. I'll do that anytime. You know.
So what made you decide to drop another album, to come with another album then? Seeing that you've been doing the acting thing, you're behind the scenes with other artists. Why now? Why you coming back?
Well, well, I feel like I have all these supporters that are asking for it, and I never got to really end off right. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I never really got to close the door properly. I didn't want it to
Unfinished
be.
business, you're saying.
I just didn't want it to end off flat. You know what I mean? I just wanted to just finish what I started. I almost did 14 years, and I felt like that was the reason why I got a chance to not do my 14 years. To do more music, and I didn't exercise it yet as like how I wanted it to. So I feel like I need to
Mm-hmm.
start it. Yeah.
They're basically saying this is unfinished business from a previous years before you move to
Yeah,
before your evolution.
yeah, exactly. Like I need to complete what I started. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
2017 right now, and I mean, even those years I went, I wasn't in doing the music and stuff. I was working with just different people like Reebok commercial with 50 Cent. You know what I mean? Put my acting in that. So G Unit Shoes did a Reebok commercial, and
Mm-hmm.
I got to work with 50 and Donovan McNabb, um, quarterback for Philadelphia at the time. A lot of these young guys probably won't even remember who that is or know who that is.
Mhm.
But Donovan McNabb was a big NFL player. Google that. Google his name,
I
man.
was
If you
about to
don't know
say
who
they
he
got
is.
Google though.
Yeah.
Well, we all do.
So
Yeah, but
how? Oh,
I got to be on the same team as Donovan McNabb. He was you know what I'm saying? So it was like 4-on-4 street football. Me, 50, Donovan McNabb, and a next dude that was on my team. And I remember when when the camera started rolling and action, yo, so Donovan McNabb threw the ball, and 50. The plan is for 50 to catch it in the shoes and go and touchdown. But one of the takes, my boy threw the ball. McNabb threw the ball, and 50 didn't get there in time. And 50 stretched out his hand to catch the ball, and it bounced off his hand and came flying towards me. And the ball must have hit me in my lip, hit me in my mouth, and I bust up my mouth and set. But it was one of those things where, yo, McNabb throws hard, you know. You know, it's one of those situations where I end up catching that, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
had to suck it up. Yeah,
Did
be
they keep that footage? Did
yeah, it
they
was a
use it or no?
yo. I don't know, but now
Okay.
they didn't use that one. They didn't
No,
use
they
that
must have,
because
they wanted the
50. You have to
50
stick to the
catch.
plan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
now
where did you
50
shoot
want to
that?
take 50 supposed to
Where
get the
was that?
touchdown.
Where did you shoot that?
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I just even though I met Biggie, man, my one of my regrets is not meeting Pac.
Ah,
Like you know what I'm
okay.
saying? Because that's my favorite rapper. You know what I mean?
that's interesting.
So I
So have
mean,
you heard
yeah.
the latest before I forget? The Funk Master Flex, what he did you catch any of that? What he recently put out there?
Who? 50?
Flex?
No,
No, Funk Master Flex. Did you see? I guess not. Okay, we won't get into it because I
what
can't.
you said about Pac, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just okay, no. No, he just
Oh,
said some stuff about if Paga had played things
oh,
correctly with Big and Biggie's death and everything like that.
yeah,
But yeah, that kind
yeah.
of went down the other day. I don't know if you read anything about it.
We talking about his music?
No, 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 no. So we'll
Uh,
scrap that. But so him being, because I that was actually
Scrap it.
something I wanted to ask you about was no, 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 because it's drama. That's just negative, and there's people. A lot of people weighed in, but I'll tag you in something online. But
All right,
so maybe our next talk or something. But
all right.
because I was curious to find out who you looked at even at that time, and still maybe now as people who influenced you.
You know, you'd be surprised because even Bob Marley's on that list.
Mm,
Nas.
not
The reason
surprising at
why
all.
Bob Marley's on that list,
Mm,
yeah, the reason why he's on that
crucial.
list is because yeah, like the way he writes,
mm-hmm.
it's like he doesn't write to the trend. He doesn't. We don't follow trend. We write the right reality, the real shit. We write stuff that won't get played out.
Right.
You know, like if trends get played out, we don't. You know what I'm saying? We write stuff that you can still play 10 years down the line, man. Bob Marley's music can still get played because he's
Timeless.
not talking about no fancy swag thing. He's talking about life that everybody's still going through. So
Hmm.
that's why he's one of my influences as a writer. You know?
And again, very
No,
simple. It's simple, and the message is clear
Yeah,
through that. Yeah.
yeah.
Can I
so
ask you what your background is just before? Because that's something I wanted to
Oh,
ask before when you spoke about your grandparents, your grandfather.
I'm Jamaican,
Okay.
background Jamaican. You
Thought
know,
so. Because then you just said something
both
else when you
parents.
said, because when you just said, we said, well, I'm going to put something down, like with the rap crew. When you put
Yeah.
it down, it
Okay.
just sounds so Jamaican.
Oh,
So I'm
yeah,
glad you mentioned, yeah, because I was
for
curious.
sure.
And I think,
Yeah.
yeah, the Caribbean and specifically Jamaican, I think reggae and even dancehall, like in different forms. I think all of that influences
You
and
know
kind
what?
of factors into rap, hip hop for everybody in a
Y-
way.
y- Yeah, like my dad, he's back and forth. He lives in Jamaica,
Hmm.
and then the summertime he comes up here, wintertime. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My pops, like, I went to go check him, and he spit something for me one day, and I was like, what? I didn't even know he spit. I didn't know he wrote. I didn't know none of that. And he spits. He kind of remind me of like Super Cat, like
Okay.
that kind of vibe. Yeah. Guys, I'm like, okay, that's where I get it from then.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he was like just freestyling and something. I'm like, something that he wrote. I'm like, yo, that's you? He's like, yeah. I never even had a clue, man. I never knew that. You know what I mean?
That's
So,
crazy.
so in the vein of, as you said, in the vein of trends, you're talking about trends now, and you've
Yeah.
been away from the game for a little bit, and we all know that you do hip hop.
Right.
I don't want to pigeonhole you because you do music, but you're known for hip hop. I don't know what
Right. Right.
your new project are. You know what I mean? But from what it
Hip hop.
stands,
Hip
yeah,
hop.
you're straight hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
With
Right.
the stepchild or the bastard child of hip hop being trap, and that's being the trend right now, or the other side of it where there's a new stepchild of a raga ish rap. You know, everybody's using too
Yeah.
much slang and that reggae-ish beat.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel your music will be received with not your fan base, but the two trends that are happening now, and you coming back with straight hip hop?
Mm-hmm. Um, to be honest with you, I think it's all about balance. Like, even though I'm a hip hop artist, I'll still like if you gave me a beat, I would try to balance it out. I don't even like using that word try because we don't try. You know what I mean? Try is not in
To
my
fail,
vocabulary.
yeah.
Yeah, so um, I would balance it out to today's 2017. You still move with the times, but all that purple and lean and all this foolishness, yo,
Right.
this dirty Sprite
When did
stuff, you'll
drugs
never
become
ever hear me
cool?
talk like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You guys are trying to be cool and stuff. Like, I'm not. Nah,
I was
you know what
like,
I mean.
when
So
did
it's all about
yeah.
balance.
So
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So you're still doing hip hop. Are you doing street music? Are you doing commercial music? Like where has Infinite evolved to now?
Okay, so the Infinite, basically, the way I do my stuff is I don't have no boundaries. I'll do stuff that's smoothed out a little bit, like yours truly, but then I get back to some gangster shit. You know what I mean? Because that's the hip hop that we know. That's what made me. That's what we grew up on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
Uh-huh.
it'll be smooth, it'll be hard, and it'll be a next like something in between. You know what I'm saying? So you could expect anything along that scale between those three. From soft to the hardest to in between. You know,
So is your album completed? Is the EP completed? When's the drop date expected?
there's not a date that I have in stone yet, but definitely I don't want to put a date, but before September, the album is gonna drop. I know that for sure. So
And is it completed? Are you still working and mastering? Have you written other
it's
songs? Or
90. It's like 98%, like 98% complete. You know,
So the first
so
track that is out and available, yours truly. So tell us more about what moved you to do that now? I know you said it's inspired by your
yeah,
mother.
well, it's just timing right now. It's truly is Mother's Day, and I think that a lot of mothers need to be appreciated more. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so there's some mothers out there that, that real talk, they need to step up their game. But I mean, the ones that need to be appreciated,
Mm-hmm.
this is who that's for. You know what I mean? need to appreciate them more, you know. Even with dads too. But I wish somebody
Yeah.
would do a dad track.
Is there a dad track? Let me
Troopers, I
think
think
about
they did.
that.
The Troopers did a dad track.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Troopers
Well,
did a dad track from Toronto.
let me ask you, real looking
Okay,
back,
yeah.
did you put your mom through a lot? A lot of
Yeah, I
tough
did.
times, worry,
I did, you
trouble.
know.
Oh Lord. Uh-huh.
Yeah, all three of us did,
Uh-huh.
you know. We did, you know. So she's a strong woman. That's why there's certain things I'm saying in the song is
Yep.
real. But, you know, I had to stuff, man, just to let her know that we appreciate her, you know.
And some
'Cause
are
she's a strong
universal.
woman, man.
There's a line you said about checking your drawers, like checking your and
Yo.
yo, that's so my mom and my brother.
Yeah,
Oh,
like I
so
noticed like you can see, yeah, you can see stuff in my drawer moved around. Like I don't
moved,
know,
yeah.
like I see it. Like you moved it. Like I could tell, you know.
But that's a mom that
Um,
no, and when I heard that, I was like, I can relate just knowing my mom, and it's just out of, that love of just like if they can help you avoid stuff and not get into certain things, and like
yeah,
they can't live it for you, they can't be out there, but if they can guard you against stuff or prevent stuff. So, and I'm a mother, and I love the track, and I
yeah.
love hearing it, and yeah, someone needs to dedicate that
Shout
to
out to you
me.
too.
Thank you, and I'm a good one. My daughter might not say that all the time because yeah, sometimes you got to raise your voice a little,
You
but
For
know,
sure, man.
no,
For
it's
sure,
all
man.
it's all out of love
well, that's
though,
how
Yeah.
you know. That's how you know a good mother when when you
right?
say if you say I hate you at a point. Everybody said I hate you to your mom at one point. That's how you got a good mom, right?
For
And
sure, man.
sometimes I think she does hate me. No, she doesn't.
You
She
know.
might hate she might hate what
Uh,
I'm saying or how I'm saying it, but I think she knows it comes from love. And so, but you capture that. You
yeah.
capture that in the track for me. And again, the use of like the singer. Sorry, who's the singer in the song?
Jason Simmons.
That's it.
Shout out to him too. You know.
And is he local? Is he Toronto or
He's from Toronto. Yeah, yeah, he's from
okay,
Toronto
nice.
still.
Now, is he
Yeah.
signed? Is he signed to you? Are you independent? Are you signed? Is it a co release? Like give us the details and where we can find it, and
Yeah. You know what? We independent. We've been independent. You
what's
know.
the label called?
Lockdown Entertainment. But at the same time, we pushing stuff out on by ourselves. We got our team of people that's helping out, you know, to do their parts with, you know, marketing, the publicity part of it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, you asked me if Jason was signed. No, he's not signed. He's not signed, but I mean, he's very talented. So you never know what could happen later down the road,
Mhm.
you know?
Are
This
you
is
the
Yeah.
how it
only?
is.
I mean, lockdown was I guess when you left Ghetto Concept, you started at lockdown. I think actually it was, if I can recall by memory, it was in a coexistent, wasn't it not? The
Yeah.
lock and the chains pop. I still remember the label, the label, the
Yeah.
logo.
Yeah. 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 Up to this
Um,
day, like the lock with the chain, like you said, you know. So we've been there. We've been doing this. You know, we're not like a pop-up shop. Not, you know what I'm saying? Not dissing no pop-up shop though. You know, don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Because those
planning one
pop-up
right
shops,
now. Oh yeah.
yo, those pop-up shops are dope. You know what I mean? They're dope, man. They're dope,
But you're
man.
not a pop-up artist. You've been doing
Yeah, we're not
this.
a
But
pop-up label, pop-up artist.
that's
You
it.
know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this now. So considering all your experience and I mean, what advice do you give to people who maybe are just new in the game or at any point in the game that they maybe haven't reached their peak yet? Um, what's the advice you'd give them?
My advice right now to give them that I think that they should just be themselves. And the only reason why Drake gets my
Mm,
respect from me right now
okay.
is because he's been himself. I know a lot of people don't really like that type of music, but the reason why I respect what Drake is doing right now is because he didn't try to come like a gangster, and he's not trying to. He's trying to be himself. You know what I'm saying? So I like the fact that he's representing for Toronto and Canada still. So what I would tell everybody is be yourself, because once you start doing that fake shit, people are gonna start losing off of you. If you start talking about what you're doing this, doing that, and that's not what you're doing, you shouldn't even be talking about that anyways. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna be building a case against yourself. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But I, I think you should just keep it straight and not go that far and just be yourself, man. People respect you. You don't have to be cool and try to talk about certain things. Just be yourself. You know, people are rate you
And
for that.
which other artists are you feeling now, and or do you appreciate with what they're putting out? Not necessarily
On the
Canadian. I'm just Canadian and worldwide.
is that
Oh, sorry. No, I said which artists, which other artists are you feeling right now? Like, what other music do you listen to? Not necessarily just Canadian artists, but if you have some Canadian.
hmm. Hmm. I like my I listen to all types of music, you know.
Okay.
I listen to R&B here and there, you know, different stuff, you know what I mean? Not just hip hop, you know what I mean? But on a hip hop level, I don't know who I would say is one of my favorites right now. But
Mhm. But overall, then, are you feeling what's going on right now in the industry in general?
um some, yeah.
Mhm.
When some, nah.
Mhm.
But there's some out there that are like, yeah, you know. So like I said, I like how the six is looking. That's they call it the six now, but I know it as a dot. That, you know, T dot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like how Toronto's looking right now. I like how definitely how Toronto's looking right now, yo. Straight up, man. Before it wasn't even like this.
Are you collaborating with any of the new artists like Tory Lanez? Are you in contact with Drake? Are you talking to anybody that's from back in the days? Like is there a ghetto concept kind of reunion happening? Is there is
Or
there a
GC,
possibility of
as I
that
think they
happening?
go by now,
Yeah,
GC.
Hint, hint, hint. Oh
you know
yeah,
what? You know what
Dolo,
though?
Quadro, hint, hint, hint.
You know what? I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna be. I like surprises. You know what I'm saying? But at the
Okay.
same time, I don't want to let nothing out of the bag. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
there's nothing right
Oh,
now
you
that
already
I can
did.
really let out the bag. You know what I'm saying? See what happens though. We'll see where it goes. You know what I mean?
Are you
Well,
guys in
remember
contact with each other?
us
Like you
when.
cool? Yeah,
Yeah, for
Sorry, go
sure.
ahead.
Who? You say? You say?
yeah.
Fam?
No, I was asking. I said, are you in contact with either Dodo or Quadro? You guys cool? Like,
Yeah,
is it
yeah. Me
love or
Quattro.
is it like you just haven't? Are you estranged? Are you estranged?
Nah, me and Quattro, like we talk. We talk. We mad cool, man. Quattro, that's my nigga right there, yo.
Yeah, I tell them I said hello, and that we would love to have them on the show as well. So
Oh, for sure. I'll
yeah,
But
pass on the
actually,
message,
I'm
yo.
gonna let it.
yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna let out the bag because actually,
Ah.
Kerosene and I, even before, ironically, I'm just gonna let out the bag. Ironically, we were talking about shows, and this is just so happened. We were talking about you. We were talking about Quadro. We were talking about the little ghetto concept. Kind of like where are they now? And we are
Uh-huh.
wondering,
Mhm.
we were gonna try to put you all together on a show, and
Together.
just so
Yeah.
happy that you happened 2 weeks later to be on our show.
To be
Oh,
available.
for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
Oh,
And the
for
other
real, for
funny thing
real.
And
was
I,
your is it your cousin, your niece, your cousin, I think, Envy Seal, who's doing her thing
Oh, that's
down in
my cousin.
Atlanta.
Yeah, shout
Envy,
out
oh
to
my
Envy,
God.
yo. Shout
Envy.
out to her, man.
What did I call her? What?
yeah,
Envy
Envy Seal.
Seal.
That's right, Envy
Oh, it
Envy
Seal.
is?
Seal.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, you
Yeah,
know
she's
what?
doing her thing.
There's another Toronto rapper that has a it's Navy SEAL. So sorry, sometimes I get it mixed up and I'm thinking
Oh,
which name am I supposed to be changing? Because for some reason, ever since I got her name, I've been thinking his name. Shout out to you, Navy SEAL, just in case you're listening. But yes,
yeah.
yeah, what were you gonna say about
Yeah,
her?
Envy Seal.
Yes.
Envy Seal, she's doing her thing down in Atlanta, man. Shout
Yeah.
out to her, man. Her radio show, you know what I'm saying?
North, bridge to the
Bridge to
north
the
or something like
North.
that. So she's
Yeah.
down there playing the Canadian and northern
Yeah, she's
flavor.
doing a good thing. She's doing a very
Yeah,
good thing because
yeah,
a lot of artists want to get heard south of the border, and she's willing to do that for them. So,
of
I
course.
mean, if y'all that's listening, hit up Envy Seal, Envy_Seal, and DM her. Send her a DM and send her a track and let her, feature that for you in
That's
Atlanta.
it. I keep forgetting the underscore. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But we're gonna
So,
yeah, we had her and I'm definitely gonna put up I do it every few weeks. I put up all the guests that have recently been on. So check out my Instagram page for her link and how and tell people how they can find you and download your latest release.
well, I want y'all to have Apple Music to, go. Yeah, basically available on Apple Music. Yours truly and other tracks previously released. Power. I mean, look out! Hey, the Biggie movie is coming out. The Pac movie, I should say, and
Yeah.
that Power track that I did relates to it. So I mean, if you haven't heard it, go check that out too. It's called Power. By yours
Okay.
truly, Infinite. So I mean, Google Play. You can find my music on Google Play, Amazon, Tidal. You know, and just keep it posted. Just keep posted. You know what I mean? Infinite_LD on my Instagram
Okay.
for further notice.
Well, Kinetic, I didn't want to close without
Yeah, appreciate that.
letting you
Well,
have.
no, it's just I'm just very happy, you know, that real hip hop and Toronto hip hop, T dot hip hop, six hip hop, whatever you want to call it, is being represented
Yeah,
by one of the veterans at the foundation. Like, and
yeah,
it's needed. Like, yeah, we have the Kendrick Lamar's and the J. Cole's
yeah,
that are doing hip hop. I just hope that you're right now, you're doing you, and you're re-releasing, and the people that don't know your music, go find out the history, and find out who you are, so you
mhm,
reintroduce yourself and reintroduce your music. I hope you remember some of these cats and pull them out and guide
yeah,
them,
for
and
sure.
I know you're a man that don't forget where you're from, so this is all going to ear, but
Yeah, yeah, never. I mean, Kinetic man, shout out, man. I know you for years too. So I mean,
yeah,
you're like
Rex Forever.
foundation too.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
real
saying?
talk, man.
But
Yeah,
you know
real
what's
talk.
great is
I mean,
you know how the internet is, right? Once you start like you and I email each other and you're doing things in Gmail. So then all of a sudden, and Gmail, YouTube, everything's connected. So I'm on YouTube now because getting ready for the show, and I've been posting infinite. So of course,
yeah.
like suggested video pops up. It's an infinite video, right? It's something
A
that
word,
someone
yeah,
else posted a long time ago. Like I think they posted it in, so it was released what 98 or something, posted in
yeah,
2007. And why are there comments like from 5 years ago, 2 years ago, up to like 2 months ago? People praising it. Yo, this is when music was nice, and and this is real hip.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean,
Okay,
this is 2 months ago. People are posting on a commenting, sorry, on a post that was put up years ago. So I mean, that's the beauty of
yeah,
that, and
man.
I find that people still appreciate, and the beauty of that too is the younger generation that probably weren't around for the first time around still get to experience it. And
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So if the
it's
new stuff introduces them to the older stuff, it's all good, right? So
yeah, it's that thing we were talking about with the trend. So
yeah,
yeah, man. Shout
just
out
the
to
longevity.
everybody,
Yeah, yeah.
all my supporters,
bef-
man. Shout out, man.
yeah. Before we go, there's two things. There's two requests. You know it's coming. So
Mm,
what it comes down to is that I just want to reiterate what the single is and where they can find it, and then I want you to
yeah.
do an excerpt, and I want you to do an acapella. Let people hear this from the heart, because it's a track that's from the heart
Uh,
to the world.
Hola. What? Hola. Hola. Okay, I heard the first request. What the second
Okay,
part?
I said the first part was this, where you can get it, what the name of the track is, and all that stuff. The second was I want an acapella, an excerpt of that same track,
Okay.
to
Okay.
introduce the people who don't know Infinite, who Infinite is, and what they can expect, and why they should go pick up that song.
Okay. 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 Well, Basically, you already know, man. Summer's about to hit. Look out for a new single in the next few weeks too. Actually, you know,
Oh, nice. Okay.
yours truly. I know you're gonna bless them with that. You know what I'm saying? You can find that, like I said, on Apple Music or Google Music, Google Play, I should say. My bad. You know,
Oh,
so
and I gotta point out that it is
I
being
mean,
played on. It is being played on vexradio.com as well. People.
Yeah, it's in
okay,
rotation. It's in
okay,
rotation. It's being rotated. I'm hearing
Yeah,
it
it
out there.
is. It is. It is.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
okay. I need to peep that, yo.
Uh-huh.
I need to peep that. I mean, y'all check it out on Vex Radio and 98.7. You know, G.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But like you said, you was talking about that, yours truly. It's like Miss Shirley raised three boys in the hood, thugs amongst us. You didn't realize you was creating some monsters. Them boys in the lobby about that juice you'd make. That's when I learned you had to pay first and then you could take. I didn't mean to hurt you. Yo, trust me, man. Listen, you guys was something new right now, man. I'm like I know I gotta take my time. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm just excited to bless you guys with some newer stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Nice, nice, nice. So
Yeah,
that's
I
the
can't
promise.
wait.
You'll be
You
back.
know,
Maybe with
yo,
the with
for sure, I'll be back.
and maybe share the time with GC. I think that's how they're going, what they're going by lately. So
Uh,
we'll see how that goes.
my GC brothers, yo,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for
But
I,
sure.
I I
definitely.
I need that in my life, y'all. You know, I need that in my life, y'all. You know, this is about
That
infinite right
GC,
now. This is about infinite right now, and you know what? And you know, you are a solo project. You're a brand on your own. You're doing your own thing, and that's
for
mad peace.
sure.
And I'm really happy that's happening. But I need a GC track in my life just for old time's sake. Just do that for me.
For
You
sure,
say, yo, you gotta
man.
say that this is for Kinetic.
For Kinetic, my bro. You already know. I mean, you never know what happens tomorrow, though. You
Never
never know
know.
what happens, man. Because it's gonna be hard to get all three members on the same page. Like Dolo, I don't know if Dolo's spit no more, but I mean, if we
No,
could
yeah,
bring him back, if we could bring him out,
yeah.
Quadro, already know what it
He was
is.
on that spiritual journey. That's where he was at the last time we were building.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, man. Very
but you know,
talented guys, yo.
We'll see
hmm
how that
You
goes.
see?
But once again, thank you
Yeah,
for joining us tonight. And yeah, I look forward to hearing more tracks. And you said there's
yeah,
something going to be released in the next couple of weeks, so we'll look out for that. And once we can figure
yeah, for
out how
sure.
to add music, we'll be playing some. But
Oh,
for
for
sure, like I
sure.
mentioned at the top of the show, in the rebroadcast, we're gonna add the song
into
at the
track,
top of the
yeah.
show, so people get to
Okay.
hear it if they listen back to this. And yeah, so
Yeah,
thank you so much for making the time.
yeah, no doubt, man. Kiersey,
Definitely, yeah.
Kinetic. Thank you for having me.
Big up.
You know what I'm saying?
It was our
Right.
pleasure, definitely. You know what I mean, it's
Always.
Rexdale Royalty, T. Dot
Yeah, man.
King,
For sure, man.
Icon.
Yeah, shout
For
out to
You
real,
know,
for real.
all of Toronto,
I,
West Side, East Side. You know, what I mean, Rexdale, you already know.
Here we go.
I don't care. I'm sound like a groupie, but I'm a fan. It's one of my all-time favorite groups. I don't care. And I don't. You know me. I don't rate nobody.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you already know. You already
All
know.
right. Okay,
Respect, man.
Infinite. Till next time. Yeah. Take care.
All right, yo, love.
All
Yeah.
right, peace.
Yeah, peace.
There you had it. Infinite Lockdown Entertainment track is available.
Yours truly is
Yeah,
out now from his new project. And so, what did he give? He promises by September. So, any
yeah,
sometime before the end of the year,
yeah.
anyway, we should have. So,
Last quarter. Yeah, last quarter.
every artist we want, every guest we want back, but this is definitely, I guess, I hope will be back to join us.
Yeah.
Um, and like I said, if we could figure out how to play more of the music, but for sure, yours truly is being played on vexradio.com. And if you want to actually call and request that or send a shout out to your mother in time for Mother's Day, the phone number is 1-877-469-3016. You would choose option one for a shout out that you can record yourself, that would be played on air. Um, or option two to request the song. Again, the number is 1-877-469-3016. And Yeah, the podcast is going to be available on all your favorite podcast players, and I'm going to be posting a link with all of them. But it's TuneIn Radio, iTunes, Google Play Music, uh, YouTube, of course, SoundCloud. Yeah, that pretty much covers it all. So, yeah, but I'm glad we got this one happened.
Yeah, man.
This is dope.
Like, you
And
know, these shows just keep, like, just the it just keeps getting better and better. Like, I mean,
yeah,
you know, that this is gonna be a hard one to follow. Like Infinite, you know,
yeah,
Foundation, like, you know.
yeah. But they're all good. And if you want to
Yeah.
hear back what we've done over the last year, especially since the beginning of this year with all of our guests, like I said, all of the podcasts are available and all of the links are available on vexradio.com. When you look under the cake tab, all of the previous show links are there. So that's the easiest way to get at them. But yeah, if we can make that happen, well, Ghetto Concept, shouting you out. They can come on and then maybe the two of them could be on at some point to announce their single just for Kinetic. Oh Lord. But
don't
yeah,
don't hate 'cause I said it before you.
never yo, you never they gotta shout me out too, please. But no, but what was I gonna say?
Well, when you can show, you know, 4 12 inches promo copies, then you can get a
Okay, yeah,
track
I know I
dedicated
don't
to you.
got
Okay.
that, but I got some personal connection. I even know mamas. I know some mama, well, one of their mamas. So
Uh,
I'm not so
okay.
I'll get in there. I'll get in there. But yeah, no, and yeah, I've always loved his voice, and he's definitely still has it. He's talking about 50. There's rappers out there right now that like L like Cool J
Yeah.
and well, he's not rapping, but he could still do his thing
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, who's the other one? Every time I talk about rappers who are
Jay-Z's up there.
still doing their thing.
Jay
Yeah, they're
Jay-Z's up
like
there.
late
Ice
40s.
Cube. Ice Cube's up
Yeah,
there.
there's no limit. There's no limit on
No, there's a certain time you're supposed to stop, and he's right about that. I mean,
I don't
you're supposed,
know.
you know,
If you have if
you're
you have a
supposed to
story
evolve.
to
You're supposed to evolve.
tell, no, it's true. I mean, but I think if you have a story to tell, you're still relevant. I mean, the only thing is, and that was a good question you asked about what they would be bringing and how it fits into the current um,
Hmm.
scene. You know what I mean? But that goes for any other genre of music. You know what I mean? You got country music and rock, and they're still coming with the
Well,
classic
no, but you know
sounds.
what? But to be honest, you know, singing is universal. You can sing if you, as long as you can hold a tone, you can sing. But rapping, I mean, it's you know what? It's a young people's music, and you know there is now that, you know,
I
hip
don't
hop
agree with
is.
that. I think it
Well, no, but
was
no, but I'm gonna say this.
because
I'm gonna say that, you know what, there is an older generation that, you know, we like, you know, the Jay Z's relate to us. And believe it or not, there's kids out there that don't relate to Jay Z.
oh, of course, but then
Right. So I'm saying
there are
we
kids out
have,
there
yeah,
that don't relate to the young artists. They actually
right, because they
gravitate
grew up in
towards
the
the
'90s. Yeah,
classic.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
and
grew
they
up in
and
the
they
'90s. Yeah,
appreciate
with their brothers and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, or their parents, you know what I mean? We've heard that too, people talking about parents playing stuff in the car and growing up. And so many times I see posts like that on Instagram where they're redoing songs and they're like, "Yeah, my mom used to play this all the time." And I mean, these look like grown. They don't look like grown women, but they're grown
Mm-hmm.
and adult people that are talking about hearing, a TLC track when they were little, when they were toddlers. And I'm like, yeah, when you do the math, yeah, it's very possible. But I think the difference is the audience and, consumers of hip hop, rap, whatever, have grown. And so you have some mature people and people
Yeah.
pushing that
Excuse
are
me.
up there that are fans. And so that's the difference. Like the music, I mean, and that's part of the whole growth as well. All those other genres, sorry, have like old people. They've been around. They've had people grow with it and grow out of it. And um,
Mhm.
do you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we're still now into first, second generation of elders that grew up on hip hop, and or first, I guess. So there's a
yeah,
there
second
will be a
generation. The
market, and
second
it will grow.
generations. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it comes down to it. Like you know what? It's very interesting that he Infinite has chose to come out with his style,
Hmm.
because it still reminisces, you know, very much like you know. So it's very interesting that he's coming out in the vein of like you know what, like the J Cole's and the Kendrick Lamar's, even though that's West Coast versus East Coast hip hop.
Hmm.
You know, the Joey Badasses, the you know, there are younger hip hop groups and current that have proven that real hip hop.
Hmm.
You know, like you know, one of my all-time favorite groups, Grindhouse. Shout out Grindhouse,
Hmm.
from Toronto as well. Like there's still a need for hip hop because they're breaking records. They're not putting out this trap stuff or any of that. You know, they're doing hip hop.
Hmm.
You know, so it's like you know when J Cole can go platinum with no features with straight hip hop,
Hmm.
that shows you that there's a need, and the fact remains Infinite is coming out on real hip hop or even you know 90s style R&B hip hop, you know, mix. Like you know his current singles.
Hmm.
Pardon me, I just drew a blank. Yours,
No, no, no. Truly, yours truly, sir.
yeah, yours truly. Sorry, I don't know why I just drew a blank, but yeah,
Because you're thinking about
you
so
know,
much.
yeah, it's like, you know, you know, he's coming out at a time where I believe that hip hop's needed, and you know what, I really hope that the radio and the DJs, you know, will give him this play, and you know, I mean, the first single, you know, it's a real good track, and
Yeah,
I
no,
just
it
hope that
is.
you know that they give him the fair play, and you know as an independent artist, and you know I mean he gets that rotation because I with the knowledge that he has and you know the music that he we all know him to have made.
Hmm.
I'm really looking forward to this project. You know, as I said, as a fan, like I'm a fan of Ghetto Concept. I'm a fan of you know Infinite himself personally when he
Hmm.
came out with
Hmm.
tracks, like you know. So
Definitely.
you know, I hope he gets that bus. You know, I hope you know when he reintroduces himself, where well he has, but when he comes out with the next track, it's like
Yeah.
it's that one that bangs open the door and you know the floodgates open in Toronto hip hop, not Sing J stuff or you know not to say that Tory Lanez or
I hear
Drake
you
are
saying,
doing
yeah,
anything
yep.
wrong, you
They're
know, but
doing
I'm
them,
just
but
saying,
there's room for more. Yeah.
yeah,
And
I'm
there's
saying
so
like you
many
know,
more artists. I was just talking of Vex about this whole thing about other artists out there, and DJs that are pushing Canadian artists and
it's
that
our
have
time right
goals.
now.
So yeah, I mean, I think when it just becomes just, well, it is when it's all time, every time, forever, and it just becomes mainstream, and artists don't have to be
Like I
identified
Right.
necessarily.
I'm so excited. There's a lot of artist talent out there. Like I mean, there's Teo Picasso out there. Again, there's Jedi. Like you know, shout out Jedi. That's who I'm working with right now. Like him,
Okay.
that guy is like you know, like he is phenomenal.
Okay.
So I'm you know I can't wait for his project to release. You know, so it's like there's a lot of you know Nadia Stone coming out. She's not necessarily a rapper, but you
Yeah.
know she's a
Well,
singer. Like you
hopefully
know
we can
I'm
feature
excited for her projects.
we can feature some of these artists and speak to them, um,
Yeah.
even at the beginning of their careers, because it's always people always have a story coming in. So we'll definitely be bringing some more amazing talent and other people doing amazing things here in Toronto and worldwide. So stay tuned. Thank you for everyone who tuned in tonight, and or if you're listening to the podcast, thank you, thank you. And yeah, we'll be back next Tuesday night, live right here on vexradio.com, live to air 9 p.m. Until then,
That's right. I was gonna say
all
thank you and peace.
right, take care.
Awesome.